And hello, everyone. Welcome to Notre Dame Stadium. Tom Hammond, Pat Hayden here for the 80th meeting between Purdue and Notre Dame. Notre Dame coming off its first loss of the season at East Lansing a week ago. They're now 2-1. Coach Charlie Weiss still trying to sort of find an identity for this team. He continues, as he told Alex on the sideline, despite that injured knee. And last week against Michigan State, they really couldn't run the ball and couldn't stop the run. And a rough day for his young quarterback, Jimmy Clausen, who was sacked 3 times and threw 2 interceptions.
Well, you're right. Every good team does have an identity, but I thought maybe that second half where Jimmy Clausen was in that shotgun, kind of winging it around, much what he did in high school, he looked more comfortable. And I'll tell you one thing that makes Jimmy Clausen comfortable is throwing to his wide receiver, Golden Tate. This guy has been sensational. 5 touches last week. You see the big play threat as a receiver he is. 101 yards a game. As a matter of fact, against Purdue last year, he had 104 yards on 3 catches. And those 5 big receptions down the field, 2 of those for touchdowns. This is a guy who's really emerging in this offense and a guy they must find a way to get the ball to more.
Well, Purdue comes in also at 2-1. It's the last trip to Notre Dame Stadium for Coach Joe Tiller. He's in his 12th season at Purdue. He's announced his retirement at the end of the season, going to retire to his home in Buffalo, Wyoming. And, of course, he's the man that brought the spread offense to the Big Ten. All he's done is take the Boilermakers to 10 bowls in his first 11 seasons at the helm. And he has a quarterback, Curtis Painter, that's put up some pretty gaudy numbers.
Yeah, you know, Tom, and when you have Curtis Painter and you watch Purdue, you know their identity. They're going to throw the ball, a lot of short, quick passes, 3 to 12 yards, and then they're going to hand the ball to the guy named Corey Sheets, who's had a pretty remarkable year and a pretty remarkable career for the Boilermakers. Does a lot of things well. A terrific kickoff returner, very good runner, good pass protector as well. He's a scoring machine. 43 touchdowns, including 6 rushing touchdowns this year. You like that scoring machine, didn't you? 6 rushing touchdowns this year, and a lot of big plays. And he has really been tough on the Irish. In his 3 prior games, 40 carries, averages 6.4 yards a carry, including 141 yards last year.
Yeah, a couple of days ago he told us he saves his best performances for the biggest stage, and he'll have that today as the Boilermakers come in to Notre Dame Stadium. You've been watching the Vonage Notre Dame Countdown to Kickoff. We'll be right back after these messages from your local NBC station. Notre Dame Stadium filling up today for the 202nd consecutive sellout, as the Boilermakers and the Irish square off for the 80th time. Notre Dame with a lead in the series, and Purdue's won here at Notre Dame Stadium only once in the last 15 meetings since 1974. But Purdue, under Joe Tiller, has taken 3 of the last 5 meetings overall. And Jimmy Clausen.
You mentioned at the top, this is kind of a pivotal game for both these 2 teams. You're set in at 2-1, and if you're an Irish fan, as an example, if you find a way to beat Purdue and get to 3-1, you got Stanford coming in here next week. You should be a favorite in another home game. Maybe you get to 4-1, and things can really get, that 3-9 season. You can say that goodbye to that.
And as you may be able to tell from your picture, unlike the Michigan game, which had the rain coming down in buckets, it is an absolutely gorgeous day, about 80 degrees. And Purdue wins the toss. They elect to receive, and why not? They've got 2 of the most dynamic kickoff returners in the nation. Desmond Tardy leads, as you see, the NCAA, and Corey Sheets is 20th. And they're ready to receive Burkhart's kick.
And the Irish have not had a touchback since 2006, Tom.
And Burkhart again will not reach the end zone. Well, maybe he will. About a yard deep to Corey Sheets. And Sheets taken down by Anello at the 15-yard line. There's our man. The special teams coverage.
How about Mike? And this is the 29th kick or punt that he's been involved in this year, and his 8th tackle. And, the shocking thing is nobody blocks him.
Yeah, you better put a man or maybe 2
guys on him. He's the first guy down there every single kickoff. On every single kickoff, even by far, he's not the fastest guy. Incredible determination by Mike Anello.
So Curtis Painter under the gun here from the 15-yard line on his first series of the game. Spread offense from the shotgun. Painter, quick toss, and it's complete. It'll be a first down to Greg Orton. It's a gain of 14 on first down for Painter, who's approaching 10,000 yards total offense in his career, 57 passing touchdowns. As we look at our Adidas starting lineups for the Purdue offense right after this play from Painter and his Boilermaker teammates. Handoff to Sheets. Hit at the line. No gain. So here are Adidas starting lineups for the Purdue offense, with Sheets always coming up big against Notre Dame. Orton, the top receiver for the Boilermakers. Up front, Pierce at right guard, the only non-senior in the entire starting lineup for the Boilermakers. Second down, pass deflected and up for grabs, and it falls incomplete. Deflected by Sergio Brown.
Well, that's his second pass deflection this year. He's their nickelback, although he gets the start today because of the spread offense. Just one of those nickelback blitzes. He gets right in the passing lane of Curtis Painter. Perfect timing by Sergio Brown, and what a nice start to the year for Sergio Brown.
I think Kyle McCarthy sort of lost track of the ball. He might have been able to intercept it. As Addis is, it's third down and long.
There's Brown again right there.
Irish showing blitz, and here's Painter changing the play or changing the protection. Under pressure, heaves downfield, but overthrows his man Orton.
Well, good special teams started a good defensive series, right, Tom?
Yes.
And one thing you could say about the Irish, they're playing much better special teams, particularly on coverage. This time, Sergio Brown fakes the blitz, drops in coverage, takes away the slant, so Curtis Painter has to go to his right and throws an incompletion. Painter's
kind of showing a little bit of indecision there, too. I think it surprised him when they backed out of it. So Chris Summers is on to punt. He's averaged 42.6 a punt. Orlando Allen picked it up and then twisted down at the 15-yard line. So the Irish backed up deep. Fabian Martin on special teams for Purdue after Allen had a little trouble fielding the football. It's a 50-yard punt, -1 on the return. And there are the numbers for Jimmy Clausen. Clausen, 57% of his passes, 6 touchdowns, 6 have been picked off. And the Irish starting lineups, 3 wide receivers now, with Tates, Grimes, Floyd, no fullback in the starting lineup for Notre Dame. Turkovich at left tackle. Still has not allowed a sack this season. In fact, the Irish have allowed 3 all last week at Michigan State. Those are our Adidas Notre Dame starting defensive lineups.
And Notre Dame starts in the formation as they ended the Michigan State game. Empty backfield.
Clausen. Protection finally breaks down, throws a dangerous pass intended for Allen. It's incomplete. Now our Adidas starting lineups for the Purdue defense. McGee, their leader in sacks. Linebacker, a problem for the Boilermakers. Golding has never played a game at linebacker, and Holland only his 4th at linebacker. Duong, the number 2 tackler for the Boilermakers, he's returned an interception for a touchdown as well.
They're really, really thin at linebacker for the Boilermakers. Good down in front 4, very good secondary, but very thin at linebacker.
2nd and 10. Clausen under center this time. Plenty of protection across the middle. Overshoots to tight end Kyle Rudolph. Speaking of thin, Notre Dame thin at tight end. Will Yateman, his status not resolved after he was arrested for underage drinking.
Yeah, well, you know, this is the thing. In the last 3 years for Charlie Weiss, the tight end has really been a big part of the offense. Kyle Rudolph, true freshman, only 3 catches on the year. And again, if they're going to take that next step offensively, that tight end position is going to have to evolve and make some plays, particularly in those 3rd and 3 to 6 situations.
So no Yateman today, and no Luke Schmidt, who plays both fullback and tight end, bothered with migraines. So a lot of guys were volunteering.
Ball start. 74 offense, 5 yards. Still 3rd down.
Bill Lemonnier of the Big Ten is the referee. Big Ten crew is Sam Young with a false start.
Right there, the right tackle. Moves early.
McGee identified him immediately.
Yeah, I think I saw 3 Boilermakers. Smart move. Must be a lot of engineers over there.
It'll be 3rd down and 15 for the Irish, all the way back at their 14-yard line.
And you see Jimmy Clausen pointing. He's always pointing when he identifies the middle linebacker. Helps his linemen with their protection.
Pumps one way, rolls to his right from his own end zone, throws it away. He's out of the tackle box.
A great play by Ryan Baker, number 90, the defensive tackle for Purdue, who really read that play, that screen. And, you know, you kind of hug the receiver. He's number 90 playing nose tackle. Watch him get hey, something's going on. He feels the screen. He hugs the tight end, Kyle Rudolph, and forces Jimmy Clausen to throw it away. Great play by the three-time academic all-big player Ryan Baker.
So Eric Most will punt, and it's the dangerous Desmond Tardy deep.
And I'll tell you, Purdue has blocked 44 kicks in the Tiller era.
Most, nice boot. Tardy backs up to his 33-yard line and then tripped up. It was an 8-yard return after the punt covered 47. Harrison Smith, the special teams tackle, in a scoreless first quarter. The Golden Dome is shining in the bright sunshine today, which has bathed Notre Dame Stadium.
Beautiful day, huh?
Tom Hammond, Pat Hayden, Alex Flanagan. Second possession for the Boilermakers begins at the Purdue 41-yard line.
One-on-one coverage down at the bottom here for Curtis Painter.
Instead, it's a running play to Sheets, picking his way forward. Another tough yard, as the Irish have been ready for him on his first 2 carries today. Take a look at the Notre Dame starting defensive lineup, and against the Purdue spread, they'll open up in their nickel defense, looking for some pressure up front. Just 1 sack this season. Crum and Smith, the linebackers, and then 5 defensive backs, including McCarthy and Bruton, who are among the national leaders in tackles this season.
Kyle McCarthy has been sensational in their first 3 games.
On 2nd and 9, Sheets again, this time with a hole. Ridden down before he can reach first down yardage. It'll bring up a 3rd down for the Boilermakers.
Well, we talked about Notre Dame's defense, Tom. They came into the season figuring they would put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and while they've harassed the quarterback some, only 1 sack. In the last 2 games, some Big Ten rushers have really kind of chewed them up.
So 3rd down and 4. So far today, though, they've held the talented Sheets in check. Painter looking over to the sideline. Still plenty of time in the play clock. Painter under pressure, sets it up to Sheets. Corey Sheets out of the backfield makes a nice move and spins his way close to the 35-yard line before David Bruton rides him down. That's a gain of 18 through the air to Corey Sheets.
Well, we talked about Corey Sheets and how well he's played against Notre Dame in this 3 prior contests. Number 24, just a little screen. Just throws it right around Ethan Johnson. But hey, Corey Sheets does a lot of things well. He's a good pass protector, as you saw there, a pretty good receiver, and a really good runner that can make guys miss.
Picked up a pretty good block from Frank Halliburton. First down for the Boilermakers in Irish territory, spotted at the 36-yard line. Curtis Painter on the slant, incomplete. Might have thrown it too hard for Keith Smith. He couldn't hold on.
You know, the defensive series for the Irish. Maurice Crum stuffing the run inside Brian Smith and blocking the passing lanes. That was Sergio Brown. And then forcing an errant throw by Curtis Painter. Good first defensive series for the Irish.
That's what they've done this season. Painter rolling to his left, got his feet under him and hit Keith Smith. And Smith will have a Purdue first down, a gain of 13.
You know, nice change of pace by Ed Zonbrecker, the offensive coordinator, rolling Curtis Painter out to his left, wide side of the field. Keith Smith, pretty good target. Changed positions at Purdue as a quarterback, then a defensive back, then kind of finding his role as a slot receiver. The slot receivers for Purdue, Tom, they're supposed to catch, you know, maybe 5-7-yard passes and turn those into 12 to 15-yard runs after the catch. That's the job of the slot receiver.
Keith Smith had a record 75 touchdowns as a quarterback at Shoemaker High School, Fort Hood, Texas. Justin Siller in the backfield now. Takes the direct snap and gets 2 or 3 yards.
Yeah, it's one of those formations you see more and more in college football. Curtis Painter went out and played wide receiver, and the direct snap to the multi-talented Justin Siller. The coaches say, hey, next year he is going to be a force for us on offense.
Siller, another former quarterback.
Just learning that running back position. And Painter again up top. That's Curtis Painter, the quarterback, at wide receiver.
And Siller will accept the snap, it appears.
I don't think Painter's going deep. What do you think? Just a guess.
And Siller with a quarterback draw. Got some good push up front.
Yeah,
no foolery involved, but it got good push from the offensive line.
It seemed like Arkansas really had a lot of success with that. You've seen it all over college football, and it's creeping into the pro game. I don't know if you saw last week the Miami Dolphins used that. And Painter playing some wide receiver. Not really much of a threat. Oh, got in the way of Rashawn McNeil.
Well, Houston Nutt, the Ole Miss coach, kind of used that a lot at Arkansas with McFadden, and his Ole Miss team used it for a 40-yard touchdown today against Florida. Third down. Curtis Painter back at his customary spot as the Irish show blitz. Maurice Crum started to come and might have caused a lineman to move.
Charge to the offense.
Well, that's a critical mistake by a quarterback, really.
Yeah.
You know, you're down there in scoring territory. You had a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, and a delay a game. Boy.
Well, I think Crum starting to show the blitz coming in a gap there forced him to have to think about it for a moment, and it was too late to get the snap off.
Well, it's one thing about the defense. We said they haven't gotten to the quarterback much, but they force you to make some adjustments, right, Tom? Because they're always going to give you a blitz look. Sometimes they're coming, sometimes they're backing out. So your quarterback, you have to give yourself plenty of time.
They hand it off to Sheets after the pump fake, and Sheets will waltz into the end zone for the touchdown.
How about the old Statue of Liberty, Tom? This looked like you at Kentucky years ago. No, you weren't that fast. Never mind. I tell you, terrific play calling. And the old Statue of Liberty, you fake the throw, you give it to Corey Sheets. And what did he tell us this week? We were down in West Lafayette. He said, my nose for the end zone starts at about the 20-yard line. He's got that Cyrano de Bergerac nose, if you will. That was even further than the 20-yard line. Great play call, terrific execution by the Boilermakers.
And Summers, the extra point attempt, puts it through. So Corey Sheets scoring his 7th rushing touchdown of the season. Corey Sheets with a 22-yard touchdown to put Purdue on top in front of Crystal, his mom in the stands today. 8 plays, 59 yards, as the Boilermakers converted a couple of 3rd downs on that drive. Here's the kickoff by Carson Wiggs. Armando Allen fields it at the 11. It's a nice cut, but then is tripped up, falls to the 25-yard line.
Hey, Tom, let's go back and look at that touchdown. And, you know, when wide receivers block downfield, usually good things happen. That's number 21, Greg Orton. Watch what he does as he cracks back and blocks the linebacker, Maurice Crum, right there. And then he just stays with that block for a good 7-8 yards that allows Corey Sheets to make one cut and then get in the end zone. But terrific block by Orton, who said to us this week, you know, his father's in the Air Force, really tough on him. He says, he always critiques my blocking. Well, he'll love that one.
Brutal.
Brutal,
he says in his critiques. But the wide receivers have to block for the spread offense to be successful. Here's Armando Allen on the first rushing attempt, which is about 3 or 4 yards on 1st down. And today's first down line is brought to you by Xerox.
Well, I'll tell you, if you're going to get past the 1st down mark a lot, you know, Golden Tate is the guy up there who has really burst onto the scene this year. And he's got single coverage right now.
2nd down and 6 under center. Clausen hands to Allen. And Allen again finds the going tough Anthony Haygood, the linebacker. The best Monopoly player on the Purdue team. Yeah,
he told us his strategy. They play Monopoly every Monday night. He says his strategy, buy utilities, Tom. Buy utilities.
Has he had to have a government bailout yet?
No.
Monopoly game?
Continued problems with the Irish rushing the ball, protecting the quarterback much better than a year ago, but still struggling some with the run.
You face a 3rd and 4.
This is where you love to be able to give you a ball to your tight end. Kyle Rudolph right there.
Clausen has his man, and it is Kyle Rudolph.
That's what you need in those 3rd and 4 to 6 we were talking about. It's really that tight end. And Jimmy's really directing a lot of traffic. Hey, you know, he's pointing here, he's pointing there, and then he's going to ultimately get the ball to that guy.
8-yard gain on the 4th reception of the season for the freshman Kyle Rudolph.
Well, that's progress. I mean, you know, getting Kyle Rudolph involved in those intermediate throws, I think, is critical for Jimmy Clausen and his development.
Grimes, who's back from back spasms, the motion man, is the hand to Allen. Breaking tackles at the line of scrimmage. Nice run by Armando Allen. He got about 9 yards.
Yeah, really. That's a lot of yards after that first hit by Armando Allen. This is what Charlie Weiss has been looking for the first 3 games. Just blew right through the tackle. I think it was the strong safety, Dwight McLean.
Pat of the Notre Dame running backs. Allen's longest run is 14. Robert Hughes has run 18. James Aldridge hardly has gotten tracked, only 9 his longest. So
yeah, you're right.
Something you haven't seen as Allen picks up the first down.
Well, the longest run is actually by a wide receiver, 24 yards on a reverse by Golden Tate. But a couple of good, strong runs there by Armando Allen.
Joe Holland made the tackle for Purdue as Notre Dame goes to the no huddle.
And Jimmy Clausen looks over the sidelines. Ron Paulus, the quarterback coach, signals into play.
There's Armando Allen. You saw him looking at his wristband. They call a number, and that number corresponds to the play call on the wristband.
They have about 130 plays, believe it or not, on those wristbands. It's a small font.
And the shotgun. Clausen spins his way. Pitt and Syracuse. Clemson lost. That was an upset. Northwestern remains unbeaten. And Ole Miss upsets Florida 31-30 on a blocked extra point.
Well, I saw Kurt Herbstreit pick USC and Florida for the championship game. He's off to a rough couple weeks.
For the weekend. It's Frank DeWong, who is the injured Boilermaker. His parents escaped the war in Vietnam, came to the United States, and now, ironically, they live in South Bend. And while they tend to DeWong, we'll take a break with the Boilermakers leading the Irish 7-0. Frank DeWong, the Purdue strong safety, helped to the sideline. The young man that was a walk-on to the football team after coming to Purdue on a track scholarship. Replaced by Josh McKinley. Here's Armando Allen. Thrown back after a yard gain on 2nd down.
Nice tackle by Torrey Williams, number 2, the free safety for the Boilermakers. Really a miracle that Torrey Williams is even playing. 5 surgeries on his right knee, play selection. He had 3 rushing plays this whole second half last week, 5 already. Charlie was saying to us yesterday, thinks that Jimmy Clausen likes the kind of the no-huddle shotgun formation. It's what he ran exclusively in high school in Southern California with a great deal of success.
Yeah, most of the time, what he told us it was about 60-40, but told us he definitely feels more comfortable in that. And you tried to quiz him on why, and he didn't really know exactly why, but maybe gives him a better look. Here's Clausen with a scramble, looking for the first down marker, diving for it. Did he make it? I think he's just short. Joe Holland covered him there.
Well, he's not terribly fast. You know, Jimmy Clausen, that's not his thing, scrambling. It's about a 2.0 in the stint meter, if you're really measuring it. But a good decision by Jimmy Clausen.
Not terribly
fast. That's not his thing. Good pass rush by Mike Neal. Jimmy trying to dive for that first down, just short. And they're going to go for it on 4th down. They have not been terribly good on 4th down this year, just 1 of 5. And as you know, Tom, that's 20%.
Used to be a trademark of Charlie Weiss in his first years here, but not so productive this time. They'll go for it. 4th and 1, I formation. Aldridge, the tailback. Schwab, the fullback. Aldridge. It'll be close. He might not have made it. It'll depend on the spot of that football for sure. It'll be very close. And they'll measure.
Well, if you look at the
yellow line.
It's not official, I know, but good defensive line for Joe Tiller's Boilermakers. Mike Neal inside. Ryan Baker, we've seen him make a good play on a screen pass.
It's going to be well short. So the Irish, another failure on 4th down, and they'll turn it over to the Boilermakers. Purdue will have the ball when we come back, leading 7-0. They'll be at their own 39.
Okay, here's the 4th and short, and watch right down here, number 92, Mike Neal is the one who gets the penetration. It fights right through the solid block of Mike Turkovich to disrupt that along with Alex McGee. Great short yardage defense. Watch to the left of your screen. Number 92 fight off that block, allowing or preventing James Aldridge from launching for the first. Really good inside player is Mike Neal.
And look at that, only 1 of 6 on 4th down after doing so well in that category earlier in the tenure of Charlie Weiss. Here's Painter going long on 1st down the sideline for Orton, and incomplete, defended by Terrell Lambert.
Greg Orton was a nice conversation we had this week. Did you think, Tom? Really a real nice, bright, energetic kid. He born in South Korea, he told us. He's a military family. His father was stationed there, and Coach Tiller said he's never had a wide receiver work harder than Greg Orton did this past offseason.
Grew up with Javon Ringer and good friends with David Bruton of Notre Dame. They grew up in the Dayton, Ohio area, were high school rivals. He said Bruton turned his phone off this week. He couldn't get a hold of him as Corey Sheets plows ahead for 2 or 3 yards.
Well, Brian Smith, number 58 for the Irish, making that tackle. And Brian Smith is one of those guys. If you're an Irish fan, you can hang your hat on 58 and 27. Brian Smith, 20 tackles for loss. He's forced a fumble. He's got a fumble recovery. Scored a touchdown this year. And just an energetic, passionate player.
3rd down for the Boilermakers. Empty backfield. Curtis Painter. Painter. Chase from the pocket, drills it complete, a strike to Desmond Tardy. It's a gain of 9, 1st down.
Excuse me, Tom. That's a heck of a play by Curtis Painter, because I thought Ethan Johnson, the freshman defensive end for Notre Dame, was going to make a play on Curtis Painter. Just kind of bounced around the pocket, threw it off his back foot, but still had enough steam and juice on it to get the ball to Desmond Tardy. Watch him throw off that back foot because he had to because of the rush. Not everything for a quarterback is going to be perfect every time.
Another 3rd down conversion. And here is Tardy, Desmond Tardy off to the races. Just tripped up by the last man that had a shot at him, Kyle McCarthy.
Well, Kyle McCarthy, mark that play because they, end up forcing a field goal to something. It's the hustle play by Kyle McCarthy. This is basically a run. Watch the block up here, the second block we've seen from Greg Orton. That's 2 terrific blocks. It looked like he stepped out, but a hustling Kyle McCarthy prevents what would have been an easy touchdown.
As it is, it goes for 38 yards.
So 2 terrific blocks by Orton.
And they're going to review that play to see if he might have stepped out of bounds. It was close. Charles Phillips and John Smith of the Big East are the replay officials today, and they'll be in touch with Bill Lemonnier of the Big Ten, the referee. So reviewing the 38-yard scamper by Desmond Tardy. Got a good block again from Orton.
Yeah.
Can't really say.
Yeah, you saw
the only time where he might have been out.
Blocked by Steve Quinn.
There was a man in the way. So no definitive.
What I say, I just like the play by McCarthy, right? The hustle play. You just never know. He's in there. He's in. That's pretty definitive, isn't it?
Yep, I think so. Play should stand.
Replay confirms the runner did not step out of bounds. 1st down, Purdue.
That's a good piece of officiating.
Yep, got it right. Got it right 1st time and 2nd time. And Joe Tiller said he wouldn't be too sentimental about this last trip to Notre Dame Stadium. And Charlie Weiss continues on the sideline with that bad knee. And Joe Tiller has always been one of our favorites, straight shooting guy.
Just really, really honest with you.
Retiring to Buffalo, Wyoming.
And what an impact he's had in the Big Ten. Really, when he came in 12 years ago and they called it basketball on grass, he really changed the complexion of the way offenses played the Big Ten.
Ball just inside the Notre Dame 10-yard line. 1st and goal for the Boilermakers. Blitz. Nothing doing for Corey Sheets as Kerry Neal was over him. In a minute, he got the hand Handoff from Painter.
Well, Kerry Neal's had kind of a quiet year. We haven't called his name much, but, you know, really playing off the edge defensive end. Good penetration by him getting the Sheets. Because we said this is where Sheets has really been good, inside the 20-yard line, getting the ball in the end zone. And Purdue has been very, very good, as you see in the red zone offense.
90%, 6 touchdowns, 3 field goals coming in. And scoring a touchdown here earlier. Another blitz. Painter winds up. Had to get rid of it before Orton had turned around. Defended by Lambert and incomplete.
So, Tom, you're right. The receiver has to see the blitz just as much as the quarterback does, right? You know, and Curtis Painter saw it, but Greg Orton did not see it. Because he was actually expecting him really run a hook route or a quick out, and he just didn't read the blitz. 2 great blocks, but a missed blitz read by Greg Orton.
So now 3rd and goal. All at the 12-yard line. Painter. Pass is incomplete, low, intended for Desmond Tardy. And so indeed, Kyle McCarthy's hustle play saved the touchdown and forces a field goal attempt here on 4th down.
That's what I mean. You never know what's going to happen if you continue to hustle. And Kyle McCarthy may have made, you know, another great play that turns the game around, as he did in that very first game against San Diego State.
So Summers, a 28-yard field goal attempt. He's hit 5 of 7 this season.
And 4 against Notre Dame last year.
Summers hooked it.
How about Kyle McCarthy's play now, Tom?
Kyle McCarthy with the hustle play saved a Desmond Tardy touchdown. Summers misses on the field goal attempt, and the Irish escape.
That thing wasn't even close for a kicker that's been pretty solid this season. And here's that McCarthy tackle. We get everybody, most guys, hey, you give up, the guy's going to score, we'll go play offense. Not Kyle McCarthy. He's been doing that all season long. One of the leading tacklers in the NCAA this season. Ranked 7th coming into today's game. Also ranks high in solo tackles in the nation. And that solo tackle saved points given up by the Irish. They take over at the 20-yard line with 1:44 left in the opening quarter. Shotgun empty backfield. Clausen, no pressure. Finds Grimes for a completion right at the first down marker. Jimmy Clausen's happy to have David Grimes back. Missed last week with an injured back. Again, playing that slot receiver who should catch a lot of slants and shorter routes, hoping to turn them into long runs. Just short of the first down. Clausen 50% so far, but only 19 yards through the air. He's going to sneak that one, and it will go across that yellow line for the first down. Clausen up to the line and quickly gets the snap and sneaks it ahead. No huddle here from the Irish. Not necessarily a hurry up, right, but a no huddle. Clausen will be looking at the sideline for Coach Weiss and for Ron Paulus. Chance to change the play as he identifies the middle linebacker. Across the middle and on target to the freshman Floyd, and Michael Floyd into Boilermaker territory with a gain of 23 yards before tackled by Josh McKinley. I'll tell you, it starts with good blocking, and Mike Turkovich, the left tackle, number 77, the top of the screen. Watch what he does. He pushes the defensive end right past Jimmy so he can step into the pocket and deliver it to Michael Floyd, and indeed he did deliver this ball. Had some juice in this one. And then a pretty strong run by Floyd after the catch. Both he and Golden Tate hard to take down. So Clausen, who began the game 0 for 3, has now hit 4 in a row. 20 seconds left in the opening quarter. Clausen whips it to Floyd again. To the 35-yard line, close to another first down. Torrey Williams stopping the freshman Floyd after he made the reception. And that'll be the final play of the first quarter. Irish driving as the first quarter comes to a close.
At the end of one, it's Purdue 7 and Notre Dame nothing. We'll return to Notre Dame Stadium right after these messages from your local NBC station. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC.
Cheeks Maurice's play each week.
Said he's backed off a little bit. Maurice Jr. has convinced him, I guess, as the Irish look for their 301st win here at Notre Dame Stadium, and they get a breakout run from Armando Allen.
Yeah, oftentimes on short yardage plays, now his second one, if he can break that first wave, you're right into the secondary for a big run. Armando Allen showing a little bit more strength, breaking a tackle at the line of scrimmage, a second one there before being brought down by Dwight McLean. A good offensive, good block there by Dan Wenger, the center. Eric Olson, the left guard.
16-yard gain, first down Irish. They're at the Purdue 20, trailing 7-0. Clausen in the pocket, now chased from it and unloads it, and it's caught by Floyd.
Well, you know, if you see the growing confidence that Jimmy Clausen has for Michael Floyd, Tom. I mean, it looked like for a moment he was going to throw it away.
I thought he was.
Yeah, but you hang in there, you don't give up on Michael Floyd too early. Well, that's a heck of a throw because he had Brandon King, a corner, all over the back of Jimmy Clausen, who's much bigger and stronger than he was a year ago.
Look at that, after the 0-for-3 start. He's connected on 6 in a row. From the 14, second down and 4. Under center. Hand it to Allen. Tackled right around the first down marker.
This is kind of the best extended running we've seen from the Irish this season, really. Offensive line, the right side that time. The big old 78 Trevor Robinson, a freshman, coming around and making a block.
And Allen just stuck his nose right in there and kept driving, so that was good.
How about that yards after contact? 28 yards there for Armando Allen.
Third down and a yard. Sneak by Clausen. Another first down. His second first down run of this first half.
Well, for years, Charlie Weiss has had his quarterbacks on those second and shorts. Remember, Brady Quinn did it. It was almost 100%, I think, when Brady was here. Can't do that unless your center's doing a pretty good job. Dan Wenger did. Eric Olson, Chris Stewart, Trevor Robinson.
Nice drive so far by the Irish, if they can pay it off with points. First and goal from the 8th, and the red zone has not been productive for them. Next to last.
Yeah, and 4 turnovers.
Clausen stands in the pocket. Lucky it wasn't intercepted twice.
A nice tip ball by Anthony Haygood, the linebacker. And then I think it was a King and almost got it.
Yeah, Brandon King almost got it after Haywood had a shot at intercepting it. As it was, he tipped it.
Well, watch number 42. Haygood is starts on a blitz, then backs off. Good athlete at 6'2". He's buying those utilities, Tom. I told you that's the key. In the Monopoly game. That's a heck of a play. Athletic play by Anthony Haygood. Their leading tackler.
Second and goal from the 8, and a false start. It's going to make it back to the 13-yard line where it'll be second down.
False start. Number 9, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Tight end Kyle Rudolph. Cost the Irish 5 yards, and here's red zone woes once again.
How about Kyle Rudolph's helmet? You see that? He's got some. He's been doing some blocking. A few bashes on that.
I haven't seen anybody do that to their own helmet, have you? Just
no. Well, you know, we actually impress the coaches. Not a bad idea.
Get the managers in there.
Yeah, really.
Robert Hughes comes in at the tailback spot now. Second and goal from the 13. Short drop, fade route. Put it up there for grabs, and it is for Camara. Out of bounds. Incomplete.
Yeah, we talked to Jimmy Clausen. He throws the ball differently, these fade routes and deep routes differently for each of his receivers. For Camara, he wants to throw it high and get those jump balls. This one just a little bit wide. Yeah, he's out, but good adjustment by Camara. And then Michael Floyd, he'll throw jump balls, but with Golden Tate, he really likes to lead him. Is that a beautiful picture?
We're going to review it, but looks like his knee came down out of bounds. Couldn't quite tap a foot to get it down, and a little shaken up on the play.
And Charlie was after Duval Camara this week. You know, he's 4 of the 6 interceptions that have been thrown by Jimmy Clausen have been in number 18's direction. Felt a couple times that he should have gone after the ball a little bit more on these, but not that time.
Did he drag that foot? Did he drag that left foot right there? That's a close call.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's one of those things that's got to be indisputable ever. It did look like he got that left toe down in the end zone.
1 foot down with possession. That's what you need.
Watch your left foot.
Bang.
Yeah, I think that's down.
Could be.
I think that left foot is down, Tom.
This could be a touchdown.
Your eyes are ancient but good.
It's hard to tell. It looked like the knee was down on the out of bounds marker on that one when we first looked at it.
This is the one, right? Which is left toe. Right there. I think that's the first thing that comes down.
This is a tough call.
Well, what we have seen this year is officials do not overrule those. You know, they call them one way in the field. We've just not seen them overrule many.
Curtis Painter has to bide his time on the Purdue sideline while they look at the Clausen to Camara pass. Touchdown or incomplete?
Following the review, the play stands as called. Incomplete pass. 3rd down.
Well, you could argue either one of that. I thought it was a touchdown, though. I do. I think he did get that left foot in. But as we said, if they're close and they've called it one way in the field, they're not going to overturn them.
Yeah, takes indisputable evidence, and that was a close call. So that'll bring up a 3rd down and goal from the 13-yard line. Irish trailing Purdue by 7.
This is Pender right down here. He had a rough day last year against Golden Tate, and he wanted some opportunities to show he could play a lot better against Golden today.
He was defending Camara on that last one. They're going to try the fade again for Tate.
And he did.
And Painter knocked it away. David Pender was able to get a hand in there and deflect the fade route from Golden Tate. And it's incomplete, and they've held Tate without a catch today.
Remember, Brock Spack, the defensive coordinator, said, hey, David Pender can't wait for the matchup with Golden Tate today, because he got burned for 104 yards last year, but a terrific play from the young man from Folston, Georgia. Great track career there.
Now a 31-yard field goal attempt by Brandon Walker, and this has been a problem. They had a kicking contest this week.
Oh, boy.
And he missed it.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Something that the Irish fans have seen repeatedly, and a boo comes out. Walker, Coach Rice said it wasn't close in the kicking contest, but he misses another one. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Get there on the cushion of Goodyear Comfort Tread technology.
Well, you know, when your kicker's struggling, Tom, it's got to change your play call. And, you know, Mike Haywood, I just think, you know, you got to go for it on 4th down there. Now, 1 of 11 over 30 yards.
So 2 red zone sputters today, one by Purdue and one by Notre Dame. And the Boilermakers maintain a 7-0 lead. They take over at the 20. Painter drills it complete. Wide open receiver. Greg Orton takes it for a Purdue 1st down.
Now let's go back and take a look at that missed field goal kick. And you have they call it an operation because you have the center, it was Kevin Brooks, the holder, Moss, who's the punter as well, and then the kicker. Good hold, good snap. He just pushed it way wide. And, you know, he's got to be battling confidence. Charlie says no good. He knows it. And there's Joe Taylor timing the kick. He's saying, hey, they're taking too long. We're going to try to block one. That's what he's doing with the stopwatch.
1st down Purdue after that 12-yard pass. Painter fake to Sheets, finds Orton on the run down the sideline, steps out of bounds. with David Bruton in hot pursuit. And let's go down to Alex.
Well, Tom, as you can imagine, Brandon Walker very defeated after missing that field goal. A couple of his teammates have come over, kind of patted him on the back, but he's kind of isolated by himself, taking a knee right now, picking up grass, picking it off the ground, and then just throwing it. He clearly is distraught, as everybody else is on this team, about his field goal kicking.
You know, Alex, the only thing worse about being a kicker is being the mother of a kicker. You know, you worry about it even more.
Painter under center, hands it to Sheets. There's a flag down, and Sheets is taken down for a loss by Brian Smith and Robert Blanton.
And Brian Smith was down holding his knee.
Pops back up, but hobbling.
Illegal chop block. Number 50 on the offense. 15-yard penalty, previous spot. Repeat, second down.
Eric Hedstrom, the senior from Arlington Heights, Illinois.
It wasn't on Brian Smith. That was late in the play. Number 58, Brian Smith, kind of hobbling off. Had a real nice, I think that's Brian right there. Real nice season, real nice year. It's kind of late in the play. One of his teammates runs into him. Yeah, it was Kyle McCarthy kind of rolled into his knee.
And they're taking a look at him. Second down and 17 now. The ball all the way back at the 25-yard line. Halliburton and Sheets flanking Curtis Painter in the shotgun. Painter on a slant, almost picked off.
Well, it's a late flag.
And the flag is down. See if they call Bruton for interference.
I'll tell you, Brian Smith, you can't keep him out long, can you?
Back out on the field.
Pass interference. Defense, number 31. Spot foul, automatic, first down.
Actually called it on Sergio Brown. So a break for the Boilermakers. They get the interference call. It would have been 3rd and long. Instead, it's a first down at the 34-yard line. Fake to Sheets. Painter rolls. Delivers it to Wazakowski. No, it's McKee, the tight end, number 89. Colton McKee getting some play today with Kyle Adams out with a knee injury.
Yeah, watch a tackle by the freshman Robert Blanton. That time he ran through the block of Greg Gordon. Mr. Orton's going to be upset with his son on that block. But terrific play. The coaches love Robert Blanton's attitude, the way he plays corner as a freshman.
Freshman from Matthews, North Carolina. Second down and 7. Screen pass, Sheets. Caught from behind. Good job by Maurice Crum and by David Bruton. And
you're right. If Maurice Crum doesn't read that properly, and he doesn't read that properly because he watches so much tape, you got a big play, number 40 right there. Watch him read it. Saw the screen, and then just has enough speed to prevent it. Get some help from David Bruton. That's a nice play by the senior linebacker, 3-year starter.
3rd down and 7. Painter retreats. Pass is intercepted. Robert Blanton, the freshman, picks it off. Still on his feet. Blanton picks up a couple of blocks. Stumbles his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Robert Blanton with his first touchdown as a Notre Dame Fighting Irish. 47 yards after he picked it off from Curtis Painter. Perfect position in front of Orton, and then what about the return?
Well, we just said the coaches absolutely love his attitude. He is not afraid of the stage in playing corner big time. And you have to be a certain kind of guy, Tom, as you know, to enjoy playing corner, left tackle, or quarterback.
And now Walker for the extra point. Now, that hasn't been a problem for Walker, by the way. It's the field goals. Extra point is good. He is 10 for 10 in extra points. But the hero of the moment for the Irish is Robert Blanton. The freshman makes it 7-7. Curtis Painter's 4th interception of the season, returned for the touchdown by Robert Blanton, the freshman All-American defensive back from North Carolina. A squib kick that time by Burkhart. Want to keep it away from those potent receivers. Picked up by Sheets. Twisted away from one tackle, but then taken down just across the 20-yard line by Kyle McCarthy.
Let's have another look at the touchdown by Robert Blanton. I'll tell you, this is Robert Blanton right down here. And the thing about Purdue, they throw a lot of short routes, and if you're a corner, you can jump those routes. He read the hook route, and he absolutely jumped it, made a nice catch, played a little high school receiver, and they showed you some of that as well. That's a good open field run, but a smart play by Robert Blanton, who reminds me a little bit of Shane Walton, who played here a few years ago.
So from the 22, Purdue gets the ball back now in a tie game. Just under 10 minutes to play in the first half. Curtis Painter in the shotgun, fakes the handoff and keeps it. Painter slides down after he gained 4 or 5 yards. Brian Smith covered him.
This didn't look like he had his heart in that run, did he?
Who can blame him?
And neither one of the quarterbacks known for their running ability.
Mississippi got some juice from that debate, I guess, last night.
That?
Carried over till today.
Blocked an extra point, right? That's how they won.
Yeah.
How about UCLA up on Fresno State out west, Tom?
Auburn and Tennessee, the Vols continue to struggle. Pass is complete for a first down, caught by Greg Orton. It covers 7 yards. First down, Boilers.
Yeah, Greg Orton is pretty good off the line of scrimmage. Big, tall, strong receiver. He said that Joe Taylor said really prepared himself so well for this, his senior year. Was recruited by Notre Dame by Ty Willingham. And then there was a changing coaching staff and ended up going to Purdue and has had a very nice career there.
That was the same matchup. Orton against Blanton that resulted in the interception the last time. And that time it's Orton that has the advantage, gets the first down. Here's Sheets. First down run, nets nothing. Brian Smith, Rayshon McNeil on the tackle.
Brian Smith, you tell you, you're going to see him right there again. And a guy who just, they put him in the middle of the field for a reason, because he's going to make a lot of tackles. Matter of fact, at the beginning of the year, Charlie Weiss told us that, hey, he should be our leading tackler most games.
Second down and 10 from the shotgun. Painter's pass deflected and caught by Tardy.
I'll tell you, terrific play by Desmond Tardy. Otherwise, that ball is intercepted. Should stay with it. John Ryan, number 90. John Ryan, number 90, gets his hand on it. Could have been called pass interference. No, they actually tipped. You can't, tip ball. Right, not pass interference. Thanks for reminding me. Good play by Tardy.
So third down and 3. Painter's pass on third down. Good for the first. It's Orton who makes a diving catch in front of Blanton again. That's been a good matchup all game long. Well, the senior against the freshman.
Greg Orton had a really nice start to this game, both blocking and receiving. Watch this on that statue. Really played great block right there by Greg Orton. Father to be proud of that. Father grades his blocking every week. Another terrific block on Lambert that time. Good catch on the slant route. Did a lot of things well in this first half.
Yeah. On this drive, 2 receptions for the game. He has 5 catches, 46 yards. Painter rolls right, then sets his feet, delivers left, but overshoots Orton that time.
A little pressure by Ethan Johnson. Otherwise, that's a completion, because Greg Orton was open. But Ethan Johnson, the freshman from Portland, number 9, on the rush. He just couldn't step into the throw. And
it kind of slipped as he delivered it, didn't it?
And you say, hey, they only have 1 sack. Well, that's almost as good as a sack, right? You put the pressure on it, that would have been a big play, but for the pressure by Johnson. Seen a lot of freshmen actually contribute for the Irish today.
Second down and 10. Irish have actually outrushed Purdue so far. Sitting down right in the middle of the defense is Desmond Tardy, and Painter spots him for 12 and a first down.
That's a dart. He was a high school quarterback as well. Bunch of quarterbacks all over the field for Purdue. That little I formation. That's a good timing and good throw by Curtis Painter.
And today's first down line brought to you by Xerox. Desmond Tardy, Warren Central High School here in the Indianapolis area. Mr. Fullback was a quarterback in high school. Fake. Painter to the end zone. Diving catch, no good.
Good coverage. Good coverage downfield. Is it Terrell Lambert?
Terrell Lambert on Joe Whitus, the intended receiver.
Yeah, Terrell Lambert really gets good one-on-one coverage. Good read by Curtis Painter. Thinking, hey, I got a one-on-one matchup. I'm going to give it to my guy Joe Whitus. But really, you see the way that Lambert just kind of takes away the feel from him, does not let him get him back inside, and Curtis Painter kind of hung in the pocket, even though he had Harrison Smith all over his feet.
Second down and 10. Painter stands in the pocket again, hit as he threw that one, and it's incomplete.
Okay, Ethan Johnson is coming on. He's a freshman from Portland, number 9 for the Irish. Hurt his knee. His senior didn't play at all last year. Watch him split that double team. Didn't play at all as a senior, but he joined the swim team to kind of rehabilitate the team and swam the 50 and 100-meter freestyle. And he has made an impact in this half.
Third down and 10. Two receivers bunched to either side of the formation. Sheets in the backfield with Painter. Painter under pressure, steps up and delivers. Another strike from Curtis Painter, caught by Desmond Tardy for 19 yards.
Say one thing about Curtis Painter, if you give him some time, he is accurate. And, he'll find that guy. Pretty good coverage and a pretty good rush off the corner by Kerry Neal. But Curtis Painter stepped up in the pocket. If he doesn't step up, he gets sacked by Neal. Desmond Tardy hangs on to a very good throw and a very good read by Curtis Painter.
Joe Tiller's Boilermakers driving down the field. They're at the Irish 22 with a first down. Notre Dame shows blitz. Painter rolls to buy some time and then throws off his back foot. And he was wide open. Wasikowski and Sheets out of the backfield.
Wasn't a sack, but Justin Brown that time, number 94. It's those little things. Watch the pressure at the end on Curtis Painter. See, he can't get set because he's got a guy wide open. Two guys in the same area, but Corey Sheets was going to be terrific. Look at the defensive summary. Blanton, 4 tackles, a freshman. They had an interception return, breakup, 33 tackles. Good defensive
day
series.
for Blanton, huh?
Yeah. And for Corin Brown, the defensive coordinator.
Just under 6 minutes to go, first half. Second and 10 for Purdue. Blitz again. Painter finds the hot receiver. It's Greg Orton with a stiff arm. Takes Lambert's helmet off. He has 17 yards and first and goal for Purdue.
Greg Orton is having a big first half. And he's unselfish. We've seen him in a couple of great blocks. I'll tell you, he's such a big body. You better get somebody, I think, in press coverage. And then just kind of runs right through Terrell Lambert. As his coaches were saying to us, he is stronger in traffic this year, and you certainly can see it.
Well, that stiff arm came from his Air Force dad. And Sheets, running back who is averaging over 6 yards a carry for his career against Notre Dame, has been held in check primarily by the Irish today. Kyle McCarthy made that tackle.
Hey, Tom, how about David Bruton down in this area of the field? He has 3 turnovers this year inside the Irish 6-yard line. He has been really tough on the opponent, particularly in this area of the field.
From the 4-yard line, second down and goal. Painter appears to be changing the play. And pass and into the end zone, rolling on the ground. Aaron Valentine makes the touchdown catch.
Well, Ed Zondrecker, the offensive coordinator, said we're going to see a little bit more from Aaron Valentine. I think it's only his second catch on the year, but good audible first. Heads-up play by Painter, drills it. You know, and the receiver does a good job of shielding the ball from the defender on that slant route. That was pretty good coverage by Gary Gray.
Aaron Valentine, the senior from Freeport, New York, as you said, only his second reception. It goes for the touchdown. The junior college transfer puts Purdue back on top. Summers' extra point is good. It's 14-7 Boilermakers. Well, the Boilermakers jump back on top, and Curtis Painter, Pat, after being picked off on the previous series, directs a pretty nice drive that Valentine.
7 of 11. I mean, you know, a lot of quarterbacks go in the tank after an interception. Curtis Painter indeed did not.
Greg Orton was featured in that too. Allen hesitates, thought about staying in the end zone, instead pops out and almost broke it, tripped up just as he crossed the 35-yard line.
Remember, he had 147 all-purpose yards last week and 53 yards on a kickoff. Good. See the wall, the three guys there kind of opening that first seam. Boy, they've been really good on the return game this year.
And it was Carson Wiggs, the tackler, that made the saving stop, just tripping up Allen as he set sail. He looked like he hesitated, didn't know whether to come out with it or not, and that's saw that big hole opening up in the middle.
Well, you know, he's a good all-purpose guy. You know, he's done a lot of things in the return game, receiver, runner.
Clausen with a bullet. Caught by Michael Floyd for a Notre Dame first down into Purdue territory. It covered 17 yards.
Hey, we're seeing some quarterbacks throw some darts. That was a heck of a throw by Jimmy Clausen to his freshman receiver, Michael Floyd. Perfect time. I mean, there's 3 white jerseys around. That has to be a pinpoint throw, and indeed it was. And I tell you, you have to have a guy with some courage. Michael Floyd, you know you're going to take a shot, right?
His 4th reception, 55 yards through the air. Clausen picked off almost. Dropped by Brandon King.
Wow, do not let Brandon King hold Grandma's china. That should have been a pick and maybe going the other way.
Looks like he tried to one-hand it.
Yeah. It's the second time he's almost had one, right? Well, Brandon King loves that corner position. Played free safety last year because of injuries to Torrey Williams, but he's back at his natural position. Playing pretty doggone well.
Should have had an interception and a touchdown there, though. Sigh of relief from the Irish faithful as they hand it off to Robert Hughes. Hughes a couple of tough yards. Hit almost immediately by Anthony Haygood, first to arrive on the scene. And coming up, it'll be the Mercedes-Benz Notre Dame halftime show. Andrea Joyce and Peter King in the New York studio. All the scores and highlights, college football's top 25. Andrea Kramer will preview the big matchup in Chicago tomorrow night between the Eagles and the Bears. And Peter, as always, the latest news from around the NFL. That's the Mercedes-Benz Notre Dame halftime show. 3:38 on the clock here. On a 3rd down, heave by Jimmy Clausen going for the end zone. Floyd has it.
I'll tell you, these 2 young receivers for Notre Dame adjust to the ball awfully well.
He beat David Pender for 38 yards.
Well, Michael Floyd had 7 catches last week against Michigan State. Watch the adjustment, Tom, into the sun, too. You know, first of all, he gives his quarterback plenty of room by his split from the sideline. So Jimmy can throw it a little bit outside, and Michael Floyd can catch it and still stay in bounds. The eyes just making the adjustment.
You know, freshman or not, if you can catch the ball, you can catch the ball.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. That's the first time I've said that this year, right?
But not the last. This is Hughes. The running game still struggles.
Michael Floyd really finishes plays.
That was 38 yards, that last one to Floyd, which is the longest of his young career. 26 had been the longest before that.
You would think, you know, with those 2 guys on the outside, you ought to be able to run the ball from tackle to tackle because you need some double coverage occasionally on Tate and Michael Floyd.
It is a mystery. Blitz comes as Clausen throws the fade for Tate. Touchdown!
Against David Pender. 1 of 2 is David Pender. He blocked, he knocked one away a little bit earlier. This time, Golden Tate. Remember, Tom, we were talking this week how strong his hands are, how explosive he is up off the ground, and then he just doesn't bobble the ball. Battles for position, and a terrific play by Golden Tate.
Deja vu for Pender as Tate catches his 16th pass, his first of the game, his 3rd touchdown of the season. Whoa, that extra point by Walker sneaks inside the left upright. And the Irish offense gets its first score. It's 14-14. Reason for celebration in the Notre Dame student section. 14-14 game. Brock Spack, the defensive coordinator of Purdue, says when you play Notre Dame, it usually comes down to the final play of the game, and this one shows all the signs of that. Again, they squib the kick, and Sheets has trouble picking it up. Got away from one, but not the second and third, and taken down deep at the 11-yard line.
Yeah, the long plays by Notre Dame on that touchdown drive really were impressive. And you have number 3, Michael Floyd, up top, adjusts to the ball beautifully, and then the touchdown pass to Golden Tate. I mean, you know, to give those guys enough jump ball opportunities, they seem to come down with most of them. And that was David Pender burned on both plays.
So from the 12, Painter on first down sets up a screen. Tardy, not much. And Jimmy Clausen talked about having Golden Tate and Michael Floyd, 2 deep threats to throw to.
Golden's done a great job this offseason, you know, becoming more of a complete receiver. You know, him coming out of high school, he was a running back, and you know, it was just hard for him to translate to be a receiver last year. It's great having that deep threat, you know, having 2 guys outside like Golden and Michael Floyd to be able to stretch the field is just great.
Well, he's got 2 of them stretched the field.
And Curtis Painter was able to get that completion. Yeah, setting up a 3rd down. It was to Orton, setting up a 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, an important one right now for Curtis Painter. Get that first down, keep it away from very hot offense of the Irish.
And who better to pick it up than Corey Sheets?
Talk about Corey Sheets doing a lot of things well. It's Sean Sester has really battled a bad back since he's been at Purdue.
Been shaken up. Got to get him back. He's 5th-year senior from Fort Thomas, Kentucky. Painter through the hands of an Irish defender intended for Orton. Who was that?
It was number 56, was it? Kerry Neal?
Can tell us that.
Okay, there's a little bit more pressure.
Maurice Richardson.
53, yeah. More pressure. He was a defensive lineman, dropped off after the zone blitz, didn't get the sack, but forced an errant throw.
2nd down and 10. Painter steps up in the pocket, whips it downfield, caught by Tardy. Desmond Tardy out of bounds after picking up the Purdue first down.
That's the 7th catch for Tardy. He's over 100 yards in receptions today.
That one was 18 of his 100 total.
Curtis Painter did a nice job of stepping up in that pocket. And Desmond Tardy, their slot receiver, is finding some room to roam.
1:18 left in the opening half. Painter with time. Down for Orton, incomplete. Threw it over his head as Greg was sprinting down the sideline. Play took only 5 seconds. Bruton and Lambert were both back there.
David Bruton really covers a lot of ground at free safety.
Thought he was going to be a track star. That was his ambition, was to make the Olympics, just like his cousin Tyson Gay, the world champion.
Yeah, he wants to really kind of patrol the middle, as he calls it.
Painter on a toss to Whittington. Brandon Whittington with his first catch of the game. And the Mercedes-Benz halftime show will be coming up. Andrea Kramer will have a preview. Andrea Joyce will be the host. Timeout taken by Purdue stops the clock at 1:06 here in the first half.
And one of the stars for the Irish today has been a freshman, Robert Blanton, number 12. Saw the interception a few moments ago. Coaches talked about in training camp how confident he was, loves to talk, not afraid to chirp a little bit. There he is down there. Talk about jumping routes on those short routes. He sees the quarterback well. And then, 47 yards later, he weaves his way into the end zone. Well, they got some good, strong corner play this year for the Irish, don't they, Tom? And some depth there.
No question. And an unexpected addition to that depth in Robert Blanton, who's making a real contribution as a freshman.
Yeah, he's tough, he's talented, and he talks a lot. Well, 106, Curtis Painter facing a 3rd and short with 2 timeouts remaining. It's when you need to manage the game well, right? And we talked to Joe Tiller about that. He was a little upset with Curtis the way he managed the end of the first half against Oregon. But part of being the quarterback is not just throwing, it's managing situations like this.
Painter has thrown for 220 yards here in the first half, hitting over 60%.
He's thrown 33 passes.
Blitz. Picked up by Purdue for a moment. And then Painter chased from the pocket, still gets enough steam on it to send it downfield and through the hands of Valentine.
Okay, we said the Irish, hey, they had only 1 sack, they're not really getting to the quarterback. Well, today we're seeing an entirely different team. Now, they haven't sacked him, but boy, they've made him throw some bad passes. John Ryan, David Bruton there on that one. And John Ryan, was blocked and then got up and made the play. And just like, Kyle McCarthy's hustle play, a hustle play there by John Ryan forces a punt.
Here's Chris Summers with the punt, with Grimes, the deep man for Notre Dame, who calls for a fair catch at the 16-yard line. So David Grimes getting a chance to return, makes the fair catch. This season, the Notre Dame experience extends to NBCSports.com. Each Notre Dame Saturday kicks off a half hour before the game with the Vonage Notre Dame countdown to kickoff. Following the telecast, check out the Vonage postgame report with instant analysis and the coaches' live press conferences. And every Thursday, watch Irish Live, presented by Vonage. For the complete Notre Dame experience, go to NBCSports.com.
Well, Tom, Charlie Weiss says, hey, I got a new play caller. Mike Haywood, my offensive coordinator, is calling the plays. He said, except when we get inside 2 minutes, he says, I have a little bit more influence.
Well, he has 52 seconds here as the Irish start from their own 16, and they go to Clausen. Plenty of time. And then no one open. He just throws it away. Over the head of David Grimes, incomplete. As Clausen had time, but no one open.
Talk about managing the game as well. He still has 3 timeouts, so plenty of time to get something in position. Unfortunately, your field goal kicker, you don't have a lot of confidence in him, so you may be thinking you got to get the ball in the end zone.
45 seconds left. You saw the quarterback comparison between the senior Painter and the sophomore Clausen. Hand off to Robert Hughes. He'll lug it to the 22-yard line. And the clock will continue to tick.
Which is how Purdue, once you use one of your timeouts, you have 2 left. Joe Tiller's going to wait and see what happens this down, or they're just going to let it run out.
Looks like they'll let the clock run out to bring the first half to a close. So Joe Tiller, in his last visit to Notre Dame Stadium as the head coach of the Boilermakers, walks to the sideline with a deadlock in the books. Jimmy Clausen and the Irish scoring once, getting a defensive touchdown as well, to make it a 14-14 game as we go to Alex.
Charlie, it seems like you've been able to find some balance on offense. Is this the amount of run and passing that you want?
Yeah, we want to go back and forth between the two of them. And once again, though, we got to be productive when we get down in the red zone. And we got down there, and we ended up coming up short with no points on the board when we get down there. You just can't afford to do that in a game like this.
How does what down change in the second half, knowing that your field goal kicker missed a 31-yarder?
It'll depend on what the down and distance is, So it's definitely something we'll have to put under consideration.
If it's at 30 yards again, would you go with him?
Yeah, I'd let him. Yes, if it's 30 yards, I'd go with him.
All right, Charlie, thank you. Tom.
Okay, Scooter, thank you. We're at halftime here at Notre Dame Stadium. with the score 14-14 with Andrea Joyce and Peter King in our New York studio. Halftime performances of the Notre Dame and Purdue marching bands can be seen at NBCSports.com. Now it's time for the Mercedes-Benz show. And for that, let's go to New York and join Andrea Joyce. Hi, Andrea.
Welcome back to Notre Dame Stadium, where the Irish and the Boilermakers are tied 14 apiece. Purdue head coach Joe Tiller. Coach, this has always been a close series. Tied right now. What might this game come down to?
The kicking game. It seems like in the close games with Notre Dame, it's been some play in the kicking game. Both teams have made some big plays, both offensively and defensively. We need to do a better job defending the deep ball, but we need to be good in the kicking game.
You got to think that you have the advantage after their kicker missed a 31-yarder.
Ours did too. We're even up.
Even up. Thank you, Coach. Tom, back up to you.
All right, and even up on the scoreboard as well, 14-14. The Boilermakers and the Fighting Irish. Let's look at Chris Summers, their kicker, number 13. Right now, Carson Wiggs, the kickoff man, number 37, set to kick it to Allen and Tate. So Notre Dame gets the ball to start the second half. Kick to Armando Allen at the goal line. Allen, nowhere to go. Good special teams coverage by the Boilermakers that time. Dan Deerking made the special teams play.
The Irish certainly are running the ball more today. Only, as I said, 3 rushing plays in the second half last week. With 14 rushes, 17 passes, a lot more balance. I was actually expecting the Irish to throw the ball a lot more than we've seen. But we had a little bit more production out of the run game today. Still not great, just 62 yards in the first half, but better.
Allen is the setback as Clausen is under center on this first down play. There he is pointing out the middle linebacker to help his lineman as he play action fake and delivers downfield for Grimes, who snags it at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, that's a great throw and a great catch. I thought David Pender, though, the corner for Purdue, was going to pick this off. Watch number 9, the white jersey on the left of the screen. He's got the front zone, but I thought he was going to get back in time to make a play on that and didn't. But a terrific play by Grimes.
And Clausen put it right where it needed to be for 24 yards. And, hit 4 different receivers.
Well, there's a big old cushion in Golden Tate. Man, there it is. He's seen the same
Clausen saw the same thing you did, and he was on the field, not in the press box.
Yeah. That's got to be an audible, because there was a 12-yard cushion on Golden Tate.
And it was a 12-yard gain.
And, that's the thing. You beat you deep so much. He's the bottom of the screen right down here. He beat you deep so much, so you give him some cushion so you avoid the big ball, and then he does this to you and picks up 12 yards.
Hand it off to Allen. Armando Allen, that's a nice run. It's about, see where they mark him down, 8 yards.
I'll tell you, Chris Stewart is fired up. He is the right guard. He is number 59, and he is fired up. And nothing like a good run will get offensive linemen fired up. That's number 59, who really did a nice job on that play, and then kind of jumped up, started pumping his fist.
Chris Stewart, the former defensive lineman, now the starting right guard. Allen again. Made a nice cut up through the hole. Breaks a tackle and is down to the 15-yard line. Josh McKinley finally got him to the turf after a 21-yard scamper.
I'll tell you, 667 pounds of helmet and shoulder pad on the right side. Watch these 2 guys over here again. Stewart, Sam Young. Those guys just collapsed the inside. Got some help from Kyle Rudolph. Gaping hole, probably the biggest hole we've seen in the running game for the Irish this season.
I agree. Grimes with a little seal, too, and suddenly the Irish are running the football. 37 yards after contact. Allen, again, same play. Touchdown! Armando Allen with his first touchdown of the season.
Yeah, what a nice block by Kyle Rudolph. Watch him right here. I'll tell you, talk about halftime adjustments. They saw something they wanted to get done in the running game, and boy, did they. Terrific blocks by the right side. Stewart, Young, and Kyle Rudolph twice in a row, and a tremendous hole for Armando Allen. And a good adjustments at halftime.
Irish take the lead for the first time. Here's Walker's extra point attempt, and it is good. The Irish take the opening kickoff quickly and march down the field. They're on top for the first time. It's 21-14. Notre Dame football is brought to you by your local authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. By Xerox Color. It makes business sense. And by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy? Today's aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Get there on the cushion of Goodyear Comfort Tread Technology. Perfect day for flying. Perfect day for football. As the Irish take the opening kickoff to start the second half, just takes them 2 minutes and 4 seconds to go 5 plays, 81 yards. The last 3 plays, all rushes by Armando Allen.
And big, good blocks on the right side of the offensive line.
Burkhart's kickoff. Corey Sheets. Started one way, went the other way, and the Irish almost had a horse collar. And Scott Smith smartly let his hand slide down so he wouldn't get flagged for the penalty.
I'll tell you, watch over here on the right side of the offensive line. There's 3 guys. Watch what they do on these last. They had some really big runs in the running game. And, that's Stewart, that's Young, that's Kyle Rudolph. And you always give the credit for the running backs, but really watch what these guys do. Good block, crackdown block by Sam Young. Same with Chris Stewart. Easy touchdown, the easiest of the year in the running game for the Irish.
And the first for Armando Allen. So Purdue now find themselves behind for the first time today. And Painter wastes no time trying to drill it to his top receiver, Orton, but it's incomplete, broken up by Blanton.
Another one of those short throws by Kyle Orton, and these corners are just, they're not being threatened deep, Tom, and they're just jumping routes. Blanton jumped a route earlier, and you see they're just getting 1 for 9 on throws down the field. So these corners are able to jump the routes, knock the ball away, or in Blanton's case, pick it off and return.
Second and 10. Blitz. Purdue swinging out to Sheets, and Corey Sheets with one of those patented nifty runs.
That's going to be a horse collar, yeah.
Yep, and there's the flag coming in, Maurice Crum.
I'll tell you, though, you'll take that penalty because Corey Sheets looked like he was going to have a big old play, didn't he?
As he cut back there, he was going for some distance.
Yeah.
And so it's take the penalty.
Personal foul. Horse collar tackle. Number 40 on the defense. 15 yards tacked on the end of the run. Automatic first down.
That'll advance the ball out to the Boilermaker 45-yard line, just across the 45.
That's one way to get rid of, in a blitz, you could dump it off to your talented tailback and let him do his thing, and he's got a lot of things to do.
Not only dangerous running the football, but obviously on the receiving end as well.
And a good pass protector, too, Tom. It's Frank Halliburton.
Halliburton gets a rare carry, his 7th of the season.
Yeah, once every lunar eclipse, they give the ball to Frank. This is the guy that really got off to a great start. That you blocked 2 punts in their opening win. Good special teams player.
As they beat Northern Colorado 42-10, then they would lose that double overtime game to Oregon, and then pulling one out against Central Michigan a week ago on Corey Sheets' game-winning run of 46 yards. Painter pumps once, looks the other way, then just downs it because he had a man trying to set up the screen, and he had Ryan right on his heels, but he threw it at his receiver's feet. How can that be grounding?
It shouldn't. Actually, I checked with the officials before the game, Tom, actually, on this very call on intentional grounding.
Grounding, charge to number 12. The receiver was not in position to catch the ball. Spot foul. Loss of down.
That's a tough call.
Nonetheless, John Ryan does a great job of reading it, and they call it hugging the screen man, and that's just what John Ryan did right there. John Ryan, number 90, the guy that actually inadvertently ran into Charlie Weiss a few weeks ago, and his parents are still trying to make up for it.
How many times has he apologized and his parents sent Charlie some candy this week? Well, it'd be a lot sweeter if the Irish can pull this one out against their arch rivals. Hoosier State rivals, the Purdue Boilermakers. Here's a big third down and long. Painter's pass to nobody. He expected his receiver Orton to turn out, and Orton kept going.
But you know what? Once again, Sergio Brown on a safety blitz forced an early throw by Curtis Painter. And they still haven't gotten to him in terms of sacks, but they're forcing a lot of early and poor throws, which is the next best thing.
So Allen awaits the punt by Summers. Averaging 42 on his first two efforts.
Let's go, Doug.
Nice punt, fair catch called. And Allen takes it at about the 22-yard line. So the Irish will have the ball. Clausen and company back to the field now with a 7-point lead. 21-14 in the third. And Frank Duong, the fine, strong safety of the Boilermakers, injured and has been out since the first half. Alex Scooter Flanagan telling us that he put a knee brace on him over on the sideline. Incomplete, intended for Rudolph. Fans wanted an interference, but no flag.
Anthony Haygood, we see makes some nice tackles on the coverage there. Number 42 in the middle of the screen.
The umpire had to duck.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't know if he's afraid of this play or whether his knee was hurting. One of the two. Let's see how the play
Every
unfolds.
coach is suspicious of somebody reading the lips. You know, that's what he's doing. He's talking upstairs. You say, somebody's reading my lips. He no longer has the play sheet to hide his mouth anymore.
Second down and 10. Allen gets the call. And Allen breaking through a tackle down the sideline, crosses the 40-yard line.
Well, if it's good on the right side, why not try it to the left? Mike Turkovich, Eric Olson on the left side this time. There's Olson, number 55, and then Turkovich, number 77. You know, this is the best run blocking we've seen from the Irish all season long. They now have 107 rushing yards.
Josh McKinley, who is replacing Duong, made the tackle, but not until the Irish picked up a big first down all the way out to the 43-yard line. There you see what Allen has done, including that rushing touchdown, his first of the season on the last possession.
It's two back-to-back great all-purpose games. 157 last week.
Clausen went to his secondary receiver, Allen, out of the backfield. Joe Holland grabs him by the ankles, just short of the first down marker.
Well, Tom, we talked about becoming a quarterback, a big-time quarterback. It's a journey, and you learn stuff. And he was talking to us this week. He says, I just learned, don't force it. If nothing's down there, just dump it off to your back. They're generally always open. He's talking about how the great NFL quarterbacks do that, and he just did it right there to Armando Allen.
Second and 1. Identifying the middle linebacker again. Line then calls their protection. And Clausen might be changing the play here. It'll be a simple handoff to Allen, who stretches it. Cuts back and has the first down.
Once again, big old Sam Young on the right side. All 330 pounds of him doing his job. Here he is. The guy that said they started preparing. The offensive line took so much grief last year after giving up the 58 sacks. You see number 74 there along with Kyle Rudolph. So they started practicing or thinking about this season the day after they came back from that Stanford game.
And today's first down line brought to you by Xerox, as Armando Allen has scampered across the 100-yard rushing mark. 108 yards for him now. Haven't said that all season. From the shotgun this time, Clausen's pass. A little too high and wide for Michael Floyd, incomplete.
Well, but they both saw the same thing. They both saw the corner blitz. They made an adjustment. Just the timing was off just a little bit. Corner comes. Jimmy Clausen sees the blitz, trying to throw it right into the face of the blitz because that's what the soft spot is. And Michael Floyd, a smart receiver as well as being a pretty doggone good one. And
as good as advertised coming out of high school, huh?
Yeah, you know, sometimes it's hard to judge some of these, you know, 5-star kind of high school athletes, but boy, he has been fantastic.
Freshman from St. Paul. Clausen draw play handoff to Armando Allen, and Allen again showing some skill. Breaking tackles, using his blockers, and heaved out of bounds. David Grimes was blocking for him. He used him well. A 20-yard gain.
Yeah, these are nice runs, Tom, but a completely different offensive line. Eric Olson, the left guard, does a terrific job. That's number 55. And Turkovich kind of kicks his guy out. 55 just kind of smothers his guy. You mentioned the wide receiver block. Nice run, but set up by the big uglies up front.
A little shaken up was Allen. He goes out after this run. Golden Tate with a block 2, and Robert Hughes in the backfield. Quick toss. Golden Tate can't get free. Wrapped up by Torrey Williams.
Torrey Williams started the game at free safety. Now he's playing corner. They're having him guard Golden Tate. Talk about it, Torrey Williams, what a miracle that it is that he's even playing. You know, 5 knee surgeries
on that left leg.
Yeah. Brock Spack, the defense coordinator, was saying, you know, it's a miracle that he even came back to play.
Olsen under center. Pumps once. Delivers. It's on target to Golden Tate. Tate immediately shoved out of bounds.
When we're talking to Brock Spack, the defensive coordinator, about Jimmy Clausen, he says, you know, he really has some real presence in the pocket. He said the other thing that he really liked about Jimmy Clausen is he just does not go into the tank after he throws an interceptions. You know, he's thrown 6 this year, and there's Brock Spack, the defensive coordinator, who loves this game, this matchup between Purdue and Notre Dame. Says the two like teams, like schools.
Robert Hughes.
Good save by Anthony Haygood. Otherwise, Robert Hughes is into the end zone.
And here's that decision. 3rd down and 2. Well, it's actually 3rd down and about a yard. In fact, it's so close they're going to take a measurement. I thought they were. They first had the stick about 2 yards away, but it was close enough that they will measure.
I think Charlie's a little upset because oftentimes you have a quick quarterback sneak in situations like this where he can pick up a first down if. Yeah, I think he wanted that real quick snap quarterback sneak.
Just short, as you see. So on 4th down with his field goal kicker struggling.
You got to go for
a few inches, yeah.
And the student section loves the decision. First huddle of the day, I think, for the Irish.
Hughes, the running back.
And this series has been owned by the offensive line of the Irish.
Clausen has had 2 sneaks for first down. That'll be the 3rd. He kept driving and got it inside the 10 for a first down.
That's a pretty good run by Jimmy Clausen. I mean, he is bigger and stronger. You know, watch him just kind of.
Nothing there.
Yeah. Just kind of keeps churning. And they put on those extra 15 pounds. Well, last year he looked a little bit like Mick Jagger, but he's much bigger and stronger
Mick
this
Jagger,
year.
Where'd that come?
Well, remember how thin Mick Jagger is?
That's before he got his haircut this week. Well, the Irish do not want to see a repeat of their red zone woes. They were down in the red zone once earlier and sputtered, missed a field goal. Got no points.
Contact. Number 90
They're going to call that on Purdue.
After this,
Ryan Baker, Mr. Intensity when we talk to him.
Total effort in everything in his life. He goes right. He gets a visit to the sideline after that. Joe Tiller waving him off. He was as focused a young man as I have ever been around, Ryan Baker. Yeah. Originally committed to Notre Dame.
Went to a Catholic high school in Indianapolis and said that maybe that influence was too much, that his heart really wasn't in it. It belonged to Purdue, and that's where he did. He was in love with the coaching staff, he said. Play action fake. Clausen. Rudolph. Touchdown. First Irish touchdown for the freshman from Cincinnati.
Well, we've had 2 freshmen score today, right? You see Blanton on defense, Kyle Rudolph on offense, Michael Floyd, another freshman. I mean, all signs are pointing up. And at the very top of the show, Tom, you said this was kind of an important swing game, if you will, for the Irish to kind of get over the hump, get that 3-9 season behind them. And I tell you, this second half, they look at an entirely different team than they have all year.
Brandon Walker will attempt the point after. And it is good.
Yeah, just pretend every field goal is an extra point.
Maybe the coach says, all right, extra point, go out and get it. Jimmy Clausen strikes again to Kyle Rudolph. Back at Notre Dame Stadium, where Kathy Clausen celebrates her son's touchdown pass to Kyle Rudolph. And I thought, Pat, on that drive, Jimmy Clausen did many of the things a successful quarterback can do.
Yeah.
Finding his receivers, taking his time, not panicking, getting it to the open man.
A couple audibles.
Yeah. Here's Corey Sheets on the kickoff return. And Sheets crosses the 35-yard line to the 37. And with 5:30 left, a little urgency now for Purdue.
Let's go and have another look at the last touchdown. Excuse me. There you're going to see all the guys looking and sucked in on the play action fake. It allows Kyle Rudolph, the tight end, to slip right behind those linebackers. It's a play they've run maybe 3 times this year, but the first time, because the run was going so well, the linebackers actually been on the run. Much better in the red zone today.
So 6.5 minutes, and Curtis Painter wanting to see if he can get something going, get back in the game. Corey Sheets with a first down call.
We talked to Joe Tiller about Curtis Painter. He said, you know, he's a wonderful kid, good player, got a lot of big numbers. He said, I need him to win a game. You know, he's a senior now. This would be a great opportunity for Curtis Painter to make his coach very happy.
Gets it to Desmond Tardy that time for a first down.
And when he meant win a game, he meant, you know, to bring his team from behind.
Right.
And, on the road.
He was responsible for winning the game.
Exactly.
And Curtis Painter has some great numbers. The debate has always been at Purdue, is it the system or is it the quarterback?
They've had a lot of great quarterbacks there, but he's had just unbelievable numbers. Passed for almost 10,000 yards.
First down toss, nearly picked off. That was close.
Yeah.
As Bruton jumped the route and cut in front of Keith Smith.
That's the only downside. They throw so many of those short routes. We've seen, 3 times the Irish have jumped routes. One time Robert Bland picked it off and scored on a 47-yard interception return. David Bruton, who's had a good all-around game again, almost gets that one.
Painter, downfield, caught over the shoulder. Beautiful catch by Tardy, who is diving and is out of bounds inside the 1. Kyle McCarthy saved another touchdown, but it went for 55 yards, and what a beautiful pitch and catch by Painter and Tardy.
Yeah, that wide receiver, the slot receiver, Desmond Tardy, I mean, they turn the short ones and the long ones, but this is just a little old streak pattern and a perfect throw. You know, didn't throw it too high, didn't line it too much. It was absolutely perfect elevation. Again, one more time hustling play. That should be a touchdown, right?
He hit the pylon with the ball.
That is a touch. That should be reviewed. That pylon is part of the end zone. And I think that's a touch.
Well, here comes the play without a review.
Here it comes.
Now stop it. Now take another look at it.
Previous play is under review.
I see Joe
Tiller is shaking his head.
He was worried they was going to get a delay of game call. Here it is. that orange pylon is part of the end zone. I don't think he came down before he hit the pylon. Foot was in too, wasn't it, Tom?
Yeah, I think so.
No, to me, that's a touch. As we saw earlier in an earlier review, unless they say it's incontrovertible.
Yeah, I can't see the definitive evidence, but
really, I think that is definitive.
I do too. I mean, I said that's the only reason I could think they wouldn't. But that was about as pretty a throw and catch as you can see, as you've ever seen. And Tardy.
Following the review, the player in control of the football put the ball on the pylon. That's a touchdown by Rule.
Oh boy, it was another good piece of officiating.
Yep. Good call on the replay officials to get it correct. And it didn't take long for Purdue to answer the Notre Dame touchdown as they go 54 yards to Desmond Tardy, who got the score on the perfect pass from Curtis Painter. Chris Summers will attempt the point after for the Boilermakers, and it's dead center. There's Desmond Tardy, did a great job getting the ball on the pylon and making that catch in full stride from Curtis Painter. And as we said, the Painter's numbers right at the top of the list of all the great Purdue quarterbacks over the years. And pulls his Boilermakers back within a touchdown. It's 28-21. Here's that list of great quarterbacks.
Lenny Dawson in the 50s. Great one. The Grease. Gary Danielson had a real nice career at Purdue, and Mark Herman as well. Drew Brees, perhaps the best, huh?
Yeah.
It's amazing. And Kyle Orton, started for the Chicago Bears. And Curtis Painter really with a nice response. You know, he needed to bring his team down by 2 touches, and he really did respond on that one.
And there's Painter with a headset on, who ranks second all-time at Purdue in career attempts, completions, third in yards, fourth in touchdown passes, and second in total offense. Carson Wiggs with a kickoff. Short one. Armando Allen. Allen looks for a block. Hemmed in, taken out of bounds about the 45-yard line, but a good return as the total offense yards continue to pile up for Allen. That one 36 yards.
And what a nice second half Armando Allen has had in a lot of phases. Running the ball. A couple of big runs for a touchdown here. Opening that second half drive. And again follows the block of Mike Turkovich. Strong one again, breaking the tackle, something we didn't see from him last year. Another big all-purpose day for Armando Allen.
All-purpose yards, yeah. Here's that kickoff return. He led the team in all-purpose yards last year and does again this year, and is adding to that total with today's game.
Well, they are so much better in the return game than they were a year ago.
Clausen sacked.
Okay, that's big old Mike Neal, that tackle, number 92 for Purdue. You know, Brock Spack was saying this guy is a powerful inside player. One of our keys. So Jimmy Clausen does a pretty good job of hanging on to this ball. A lot of times you see those strips and sacks and the fumbles, but Clausen hung on.
First sack of the day for either team, and the second of the season for Mike Neal.
He's called the Beast by Brock Spack.
Clausen, protection this time. Drills another one to Rudolph.
Boy, I tell you, if you can get that tight end working, and they have today, Kyle Rudolph is his coming out party. Last year was Golden Tate against Purdue. This year, Kyle Rudolph. But you got Golden Tate, Michael Floyd on the outside, and then this guy inside. So this could become a pretty good passing football team. Getting good protection.
18 yards. First down, Irish.
He averaged 18 yards a catch in high school. Great basketball player as well, but really can get down the field.
Cincinnati Elder High School. from the 43-yard line. First down play. Clausen's going for 6 for Golden Tate. Did he catch it inbounds? No, out of bounds, battling with Torrey Williams.
Well, just one of those things. The quarterback's got to keep the ball on the field of play, right, to give your wide receiver a chance. And he had a step on it. It's a hard guy to overthrow. He's got to throw that a little bit more inside, maybe toward the pylon there, and let Golden Tate go get it.
Second down and 10. Hughes dragging defenders with him to the 40.
Kind of looked like that old rodeo champion he was as a kid.
Let's just say what he is, has a big belt buckle, that rodeo champion. Bull rider.
Yeah. Calf roping, relay, he said.
Yeah, loves horses. His family has horses.
Had 9 of them. He was telling us a couple weeks ago, I didn't really watch much Notre Dame growing up, even though he grew up in Chicago, because on the weekends he was out riding horses.
He was out there on the ranch, riding the horses, roping the calves. Third down and 7.
You're going to change your voice inflection when you start talking Western, Tom.
Here comes a blitz from the Boilermakers. Clausen's pass.
Good read.
Caught by Michael Floyd as he went to the turf, and looks like it's enough for the first.
Yeah, Michael Floyd's not only a talented wide receiver, he's a smart one. Then we said, hey, both the quarterback and the wide receiver have to see the blitz. Well, they both did. Michael Floyd is athletic, and he's really smart as well.
And he's young.
Yeah.
Lick your chops thinking about his career, which is just starting to unfold. 6 catches, 100 yards, and Clausen now has exceeded 200 yards passing. Blitz. Armando Allen, nowhere to go.
I have a great story about Michael Floyd. When he was going to high school in St. Paul, Minnesota, he used to work a part-time job to help his mom pay tuition. And we don't get to talk to freshmen around here, but all the people that his teammates, the people around the program say Michael Floyd is a heck of a young man.
Quite an impressive resume, and we still have 2 minutes to go in the third. Flags fly. And for more on Michael Floyd, let's go down to Alex.
Hey, Tom and Pat, well, both Floyd and Golden Tate, the 2 young receivers, credit the older receiver on the field, number 11, Grimes, for a lot of their success. He has really been the one. He's been the one that has really kind of taken the younger guys under his wing and really taught them more about how to run a route, how to be a receiver, and those guys really crediting Grimes with their development.
Yeah, Charlie was saying the same thing Alex did this week, He was...
And that's really the way it has to happen, isn't it? Yep. That the older players bring the young pups along. Golding was called for the offside. Step off 5 against the Boilermakers, making it 2nd down and 7. Clausen flushed from the pocket, rolling to his right, throws across his body intended for Camara, but incomplete.
The one thing about Jimmy Clausen, anytime he's moving around, his eyes are always downfield. And boy, you can have a lot of big plays if you keep your eyes tuned downfield. This is one of the things that John Elway did so great. Some quarterbacks, get out of the pocket to scramble. Some are always looking downfield. Ball looked catchable, didn't it?
So Camara couldn't come up with it, making it 3rd down and 7. Blitz comes and Clausen has to throw it away.
Okay, it looked like almost a punt for a second.
Ryan Kerrigan was all over him.
Well, once again, though, Clausen, avoiding the sack that would have taken, to put him in a horrible field goal position. Now, now ordinarily you'd maybe attempt a field goal, and they're saying, no, we're not going to try that. We're just going to go for it on 4th down.
It would be, what, a 47-yard attempt?
Yeah. So that might have been a roughing penalty. Yeah, so, your decision's made. You're going for it on 4th and 7.
Irish have converted 1 of 2 on 4th down.
Well, I'll tell you what. This guy, Golden Tate, is one-on-one.
Clausen going for Grimes. Touchdown!
That guy was one-on-one, too. And that's as happy as he gets, isn't it?
Bad knee and all. He's got a cheer and a high five from his son, Charlie Jr. David Grimes back from back spasms, streaking downfield, and Clausen put it right on him.
And they are clicking. And I think really it started that opening drive the second half when they ran the ball so well.
30-yard touchdown catch by David Grimes, his second of the season. And Brandon Walker for the point after. Puts it through. Purdue narrows it to 7. Notre Dame answers with a Grimes catch from Clausen. 35-21. Right tackle Sam Young made a nice pickup, enabling Clausen to hit Grimes in full stride for the 30-yard touchdown. 35-21 Irish. 1:24 to go, third quarter. Here's Burkhart's kickoff. Taken by Corey Sheets, and he lost it. Gets back on it, but is hit immediately and down inside the 5-yard line. Kyle McCarthy first to get him.
Hey, let's go back to the touchdown. And watch the fumble here. Yeah, this happened against Michigan. Michigan fumbled 2 of these as well. Kyle McCarthy, old steady Eddie. But I want to talk and give you a couple circles to Sam Young. See number 74 here. Watch him put the block on Joe Holland. Now, it's not a big physical block, a little chip block, but, that allows Clausen to get it off. Now, nobody in the stands, Tom, sees those kind of plays, but I promise you his teammates will watch that and tape tomorrow and say, Sam, well done.
Meantime, Purdue backed up to the 7-yard line. Hand it to Corey Sheets. And Sheets, who got him in a hole in the first place, gets him out of it.
That's a guy you got to keep feeding the ball to. He's just too good, Corey Sheets, in terms of, not giving him enough attempts.
33 yards on that one.
Yeah. Bobs and weaves, good blocks on the right side by number 61, Zach Jones. Allows Sheets to kind of pick it up, then a little head fake on David Bruton, picks up an extra 6.
Sheets the other way.
Oh boy.
Took the umpire and several defenders with him, and another big run. This one for 14.
All right.
I'm sure the umpire's okay. Look at him, the umpire.
Just trying to get his name there.
Rick Nelson.
He's right there. Oh, Rick Nelson, yeah.
Oh, Ricky Nelson, he could sing pretty well,
absolutely. Too. I knew you were going there. Very expected. A little flair for the expected, Tom. Yeah, if you're ever going to come back as a referee, you do not want to be an umpire. You want to be a back judge or something. See the guy with a B on his back? Oh, man, Rick. He's right back in there.
And here come the Boilermakers, already back into Irish territory. And Painter's going for 6. He's got Orton wide open, overshot him. He had him behind Blanton on his way to the end zone, but the pass a little too much.
We've seen him throw some great trajectory on his balls. This one maybe a little bit more air. Earlier he threw that perfect one to Desmond Tardy. But boy, he had him beaten. He had Blanton beaten. And you need to do that. You can't keep throwing those little slants and hooks. That's why he was wide open.
35 seconds left, third quarter. Painter's pass caught on the ricochet by Orton.
Oh, boy.
Off Tardy into the hands of Orton, who has a big smile.
Yeah, he should. Well, sometimes if you prepare, good things happen, even against the Irish in Notre Dame Stadium.
18 yards on that one. Bang, bang.
Tough day for defensive coordinators, huh?
Ball's flying through the air at Notre Dame Stadium. Blitz coming from the Irish. Fake it to Sheets, get it to Orton. And Orton goes one-on-one in the secondary with Lambert and is taken out of bounds.
It didn't look like much, but picked up 4 yards because Greg Orton's so big and strong.
Closing seconds of the third quarter. And that'll be it. A lot of offensive action in the third quarter as it comes to a close with the Irish leading Purdue 35-21. And we'll return to Notre Dame Stadium after these messages from your local NBC station. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC. Purdue 35-21, the playing of Peter Elliott Tchaikovsky's 1812 overture. Students making the W for Weiss. The traditional way to end the third and start the fourth quarter at Notre Dame Stadium. And Purdue driving as we start the fourth quarter. They're at the 24-yard line of the Irish. Second down and 6. Curtis Painter standing in the pocket, taking his time and finding the receiver Smith, who had a defender draped all over him. Robert Blanton was able to hold on for 8 yards.
Good protection by the Boilermaker offensive line. Allows Curtis Painter, gets up on his tippy toes really to kind of drop it over the outstretched arms of the Irish, and a really tight throw to Keith Smith.
First down, Boilers at the 13 of the Irish. Blitz coming from the corner, and the pass intended for Tardy is incomplete.
Boy, that had a touchdown written on it to complete that one. Tardy, who's had a pretty good game.
Here, Painter's 324 yards, and Clausen 232. And we're just starting the fourth.
Yeah, but Tardy's got 170 yards in receptions.
Oh, that one thrown a little hard and kind of behind Desmond Tardy, and he couldn't handle it. They might have had something going there, too, and yet it's incomplete.
In a 2-touchdown game, you got to be thinking 8 touchdowns, not field goals, right? Fourth quarter.
That one needed a little touch and didn't get it.
Twice in a row out through the hands of Desmond Tardy, but you're right, Tom, a little too much juice on that one.
Glad to see that you've refrained from all your Tardy puns today.
That was not intentional.
Here's Painter rolling, delivering, no, way off target, intended for Smith. Hard to pitch it accurately, rolling to your left, and he was way off the mark on that one.
Well, he did it earlier. I think, 2-touchdown game, I think you have to go for the touchdown, not the field goal here. So Joe Taylor. Joe Taylor has always gambled. He's never had necessarily the best talent to compete with Notre Dame and Ohio State and all those schools, but he gets his teams prepared, and he takes some chances.
Fourth down and 10. Painter changing it. Play clock ticking. Got it off. Painter's pass in traffic. Broken up.
Hayseed.
It was Harrison Smith. Intended for Tardy.
Well, that's his nickname, Hayseed. Harrison Smith from Knoxville, Tennessee, makes a great jump on the ball to save what would have been a first down for the Boilermakers.
Ball goes over to Notre Dame. Beautiful aerial shot there of the administration building, the fabled Golden Dome. Our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Get there on the cushion of Goodyear Comfort Tread technology. A little graphic about the only cloud visible today on a beautiful afternoon at Notre Dame Stadium. Shadows now covering the playing field. Give to Armando Allen on first down. Rolls forward, the gain of a couple. Yeah. Ryan Baker hitting first.
Yeah, there we talk about Ryan Baker, that number 90 for Purdue, that total effort guy. We Had a chance to talk to him this week. Interesting guy in a lot of ways. You know, he told us when kids ask him for his autographs, he turns around and asks them right back. And he saves those kids' autographs in his room.
Has them next to his bed in his room, keeps them there. And thrill for the kids, too, isn't it? To get to.
He's a smart kid. We've talked about academic Big Ten 3 times.
Dangerous throw from Clausen, intended for Tate, incomplete. Pender defending, and Ryan Baker. Interesting, talked about his parents, Linda and Jerry Baker, and how much support they've given him. There's his class schedule, the management major, and as you said, the 3-time academic All Big Ten performer. Got pretty emotional when he talked about his dad, Jerry, who is a disabled American veteran who was a CB in Vietnam and has fought through post-traumatic stress disorder and has tried to help other veterans in the same situation, and very proud of what his dad, Jerry, has done. His mom, Linda, a nurse. Clausen going deep down the sideline for Golden Tate. All those strong hands, no. Incomplete. Couldn't hold on.
I thought he did it. He just explodes off the ground like a basketball player, doesn't he? He just elevates so quickly. Good look at Golden Tate. I'll tell you, it seems like 9 times out of 10 he comes down with these up. And it didn't have possession. But boy, I tell you, this is not a risky throw, as Clausen got a big shot.
Right at the end of the play, bringing up a 4th down. And they're going to review that play to see if Tate did indeed catch that ball or not, if he came down in bounds with possession.
Tom, you be the judge.
Right.
What do you think?
Strong hands again, we see, taking it away. Boom, head hit down, rolls over, and then the ball comes out. There it is. Only need 1 foot down. There's 1 foot. Possession.
Yep, he is so strong and so athletic.
I think
in
that's
the air.
a catch, Pat.
I agree. He's just, you know, as we talked about, they throw these deep balls differently to each of their 3 receivers. Generally, they're trying to lead him because he's such a fast player. Athletic, possession there, right?
Yep.
Foot down, catch.
So the play continues to be reviewed upstairs. And again from the Big East, the replay officials, Charles Phillips and John Smith.
You know, all these players have great gaudy high school statistics, but he in high school, one guy had 2 touchdowns within a 4-second span. And in between, he recovered an onside kick.
Yeah.
I mean, he could play in the Arena Football League.
From Pope John Paul II High School. It's from Hendersonville, Tennessee.
Following review, it's been determined that the receiver had firm control of the ball.
And these officials have been good today.
Yeah, they've been perfect.
Yeah.
Right on it. It was a good catch. Golden Tate. It's Golden Tate III. Actually, his dad, Golden Tate Jr., was a top receiver at Tennessee State. Drafted in the NFL. There it is. Good call, good catch. 39 yards, Golden Tate, a star in the making.
Yeah, well, he already is. This is really a bright young kid, too. We had a chance to talk to him a couple weeks ago.
So 46-yard line of Purdue now. First down for Notre Dame. We're early in the 4th quarter, and the Irish leading 35-21 in this matchup, the 80th meeting between the 2 rivals, who come in with identical 2-1 records. Armando Allen tackled by Ryan Baker.
Golden Tate is not only a good player, but his plays seem to be long plays, right? In San Diego State, he caught a 38-yard touchdown, and then 2 long ones against Michigan. Michigan's today, he's had a 39-yard reception. And, you know, he doesn't waste too many throws when you get it to him. You give him the chances, and he makes the absolute most of all the balls thrown his way.
Here's the I formation this time. Aldridge at tailback and Schwab at fullback. Toss to Aldridge following the block of Schwab. And he has a first down as he crosses the 35-yard line. It'll be a gain of 17 yards.
Well, Asauf swapped the fullback. You're an I formation fullback. You're a guy that's got to lead the way on the toss sweep. I'll tell you, his coach called him all day tough. Great block by Sam Young as well. This is as good as I've seen Sam Young play in 3 years. Really playing well.
Schwab just buried his man. There's Grimes making a block downfield.
Completely different team than we've seen all year.
Line up in the eye again. Aldridge ducking one way, darting the other. Alex McGee makes the play for the Purdue defense, but not until it's a pretty good first down run.
Alex McGee, number 71, Brock Spack was saying to us this week, you know, he played defensive tackle last year. We kind of moved him out to defensive end, and you know, very few guys can do that. And he's been able to play both of those positions well. There's a pretty good defensive coordinator.
Look at Michigan's come back to take the lead. Navy, Wake Forest first defeat. If that, I didn't see if it was a final, but it would be.
Whoops. Got to snap it. Got to snap
it. 55 offense. 5 yards, still second down.
Call it on poor Eric Olson. It wasn't his fault.
It was Dan Wenger, the center, forgot to snap the ball.
There it is again.
Yep. You see a bunch of blue jerseys. Whoa! Dan, it was on 2.
You look back at Jimmy Clausen like, oh.
Oh, yeah. God. It's true when your center forgets the snap count.
And the defense doesn't. Take a hit or two. Good toss to Camara. Wrapped up by Brandon King. So it'll set up a third down play. We'll try to reach that yellow line. Brought to you today by Xerox.
They've had a bunch of first downs. Notre Dame 21 of those first downs on the day.
This is their 4th possession of the second half. First 3 all resulted in touchdowns. There's the first down count. This one is a 3rd and 6. The action fake. And Jimmy Clausen for the end zone. Another one of those jump balls. Camara can't come down with it. Defended by David Pender.
David Pender down there. There's a guy that has his moments and also been beaten a few times today. They keep testing him. This time David Pender does a great job of getting in the way of Camara.
Might have heard a little murmur, a boo or two from the crowd. That's because Brandon Walker is going to be called on to attempt a 41-yard field goal.
Well, he's, what, 1 of 11 outside of 30 yards in his career.
Missed a 31-yarder earlier. Trying to get his confidence back, perhaps. And this one on its way, and it is good.
Yeah. A little boost of confidence to Brandon Walker.
Coach Weiss says, get back out there. It's 41 yards. I want you to make it. And Brandon Walker does. 10 minutes left in the game. Joe Tiller's final game in Notre Dame Stadium, retiring as the Purdue head coach, the man that's taken them to 10 bowls in his first 11 years. Brought respectability back to Purdue, made them competitive again. Corey Sheets returns. Notre Dame's held this powerful Purdue return game in check today, and Coach Tiller will be retiring to his place in Buffalo, Wyoming. We asked him what an ideal day would be like.
Get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, put on the coffee, go get the paper, pour a cup of coffee, drink part of it, but then start reading. Read it from front to back. Get up and go take a nap. And then come back and eat lunch and maybe take a nap again.
A lot of sleeping in his retirement. Well, he stayed up late an awful lot.
He said he might go fly fishing, perhaps. He's got some streams on his place. Sheets on the screen pass. And Sheets with a cutback. Look at Sheets do his thing as he's downed at the 45-yard line by Gary Gray for 25 yards. Corey Sheets.
Corey Sheets over 100 all-purpose yards himself. We talked about him being a terrific runner, good receiver as well. Kind of a screen block there by Zach Jones. And great open field running. Boy, did he have good eyes and good sight and vision. I guess those are all the same thing, aren't you? Eyes, sight, and vision.
I like it when you censor yourself. Sheets, only a couple of yards.
He has really turned around the program. And I think the legacy for him, really, is that he made them competitive, year in, year out. I mean, before he got there, only one winning season, didn't get any bowls, but under his guidance, averaged 7.5 wins, 10 bowl appearances, won the Big Ten in 2000.
Swing pass to Tardy. And, Tiller saying on his place, 40-some acres there in Wyoming. He's going to have some streams where he can fly fish. He said he'll sit on the back deck and watch the deer come up. And he and his wife have a mobile home. He said that they'll spend about half their time at Montana State, where he went to college, watching games. The other in Laramie, Wyoming, watching games where he coached. And when Purdue has back-to-back home games during the season, they'll come back and spend a couple of weeks seeing their friends here as the pass for Curry is knocked down. And, of course, Danny Hope is the coach in waiting. He's recruiting now for the Boilermakers. He's coaching the offensive line at the moment. Was a previous assistant coach at Purdue, and the facial resemblance as well. Danny Hope giving up the head coaching job at Eastern Kentucky University to come back here, be an assistant, and to take over as head coach. Here's 4th down now for Purdue. 4th down and 3. Painter given a lot of time, but his pass incomplete. Tardy couldn't hold on right at the sideline, and Tiller and the Boilermakers give it over on downs to the Irish. 8:41 left as they battle for the shillelagh, and the Irish lead it 38-21. Time now for our Liberty Mutual Legends of the Game. Dan Devine succeeded Ara Parsekian as head coach at Notre Dame in 1975, compiling an impressive record, 53-16-1 over 6 seasons, and leading the Irish to the 1977 National Championship. And Dan Devine, who passed away in 2002, honored today as his family took part in the coin toss, the ceremonial coin toss before the game. Dan Devine, one of our Liberty Mutual legends of the game, his family in attendance today. After holding Purdue on 4th down, the Irish take over with a toss to Aldridge.
A pretty good day for the defense for the Irish today, and their defensive coordinator, Corwin Brown, in the last break, really gets after Pat Kuntz, his defensive tackle. You're going to see Corwin Brown. He's got the hat on right there, soon to come off. And this is a fiery guy. Played defensive back at Michigan.
And in the NFL.
And he's got his defense playing pretty doggone well.
Injured Boilermaker on the play. It was Keon Brown, senior from Homewood, Illinois.
Always moved from linebacker to defensive end, and we'll bring him into pass rush primarily.
And we were talking about Joe Tiller and Danny Hope taking over. He said there's no friction between the two at all. He said it probably would have been awkward had it not been someone that he really likes and admires. And Coach Tiller's going to be missed. I tell you, he was a pioneer in a lot of ways, bringing that spread offense, as you said, basketball on grass, to the Big Ten, where a lot of people said that can't work in the Midwest, bad weather, conservative football. And it has indeed worked.
He said in the first couple of years he had to go to the hospital on Sundays to remove the smile from his face because nobody knew how to defend his teams.
Doesn't help to have some good quarterbacks, too. Aldridge takes another toss. Might have been the same play. About a yard short. And for more on Coach Tiller and the coaching staff at Purdue. Let's go to Alex.
Well, Tom, as you watch the coaching staff, you can really see Tiller handing over the reins to Danny Hope. Hope really bringing the team on the field at the half, kind of really being the one to talk and communicate with his players. I talked to Drew Brees earlier, who was on the Purdue team when Hope was the offensive line coach. He said he's a fiery competitor, described him as awesome, and is really looking forward to him taking over the reins.
Danny Hope, who had a record of 35-22 as the head coach at Eastern Kentucky University, which traditionally had been a 1AA power under Roy Kidd, one of the legendary coaches in Division I AA.
Excuse me, Tom, and I like the way they've gone through this transition. You know, it's been an orderly transition. He's coached at Purdue before. He's been a head coach. The recruiting can stay in sync. You know, recruits don't, you know, they're not wondering who's the next coach going to be, what style of play. So they did it in, I think, a very, very orderly fashion. There's Brock Spack, the defensive coordinator, who will stay. He's a really good defensive coach.
You know, it kind of seems to be the trend of the future, naming that coach in advance and giving a little time for the transition to take place. And probably because recruiting is such a year-round deal now that you have to stay on it. You can't afford any gaps.
Well, tell the guy down in Tallahassee and the guy up in State College.
Aldridge able to just pick up the first down in that last play. First down for the Irish. Under the 7-minute mark. Gonna try that play again to the other side, and not as much success that time as Aldridge is upended by Anthony Haygood.
Yeah, well, Anthony Haygood's had a pretty good game for this defense. One of the only really experienced linebacker, 8 tackles on the day for Anthony Haygood. Joe Holland, the other linebacker, has 10.
Build this as a crucial game for the Irish and for Purdue too, for that matter, who also came in at 2-1, and Purdue with a tough string coming up as they play Penn State and then travel to Columbus to meet Ohio State.
Yeah, 3-1 just feels so much better than 2-2. And you know, Notre Dame opened with 4 of their first 5 games at home. They'll end that stretch next week.
That's what Charlie Weiss was saying to us. You know, you have to take advantage of this string to get off to the good start, which is what he wanted with his team to put away last season, that you had to take advantage of the home games, and so far they have.
Well, you see, they go at North Carolina. North Carolina lost their starting quarterback. Washington's struggling. Pittsburgh's a pretty good football team. Boston College. You know, the schedule sets up pretty well for the Irish.
They fell behind in this one early today to Purdue, but the second half, offensively, they have looked like a completely different team.
Yeah, absolutely. Jimmy Clausen has really played well. Really played well.
Purdue takes a timeout, or excuse me, Notre Dame takes a timeout. And we'll take a break. Irish up 38-21. Leading the Irish cheers with Notre Dame up 38-21 in the fourth quarter, just over 5 minutes left. And draw play handoff to Allen, spun to the turf, 40-yard line. And you know, Pat, this has been one of those games where footballs have filled the air, and maybe we'll talk about it in the future as Jimmy Clausen's coming of age.
Well, how about he's 20 of 35, thrown 3 touchdown passes, all to different receivers, managed the game well, like you talked about, called the audibles. He has played, I think, as good as the position can be played.
Curtis Painter and Jimmy Clausen in an aerial duel today. Clausen 20 of 35, 275 yards and 3 touchdowns. Curtis Painter 28 of 52, 354 yards, 2 touchdowns, but an interception.
Jimmy just kind of really managed that game well too, you know. No sacks, and you could sack once. Hey, you know, the little things. You know, watch him look to his left and then come back to the right. You look off safeties that way, you find your wide receiver. You just give your wide receiver a little bit more room. And then here he sees nothing down there, no safety in the middle of the field, and that allows him to dump the ball to David Grimes for the touchdown pass. So, I mean, he's just seeing things particularly well.
So the Irish took a delay of game penalty. It's 4th down now, and Eric Most will punt. Trying to down it.
David Grimes ran into Tardy.
Yeah, that'll be a interference. Yes, Tardy called for the fair catch, but was knocked down before he could make it.
Well, Tardy, he's had 10 catches, 175 yards. He's had a pretty good day as a wide receiver as well. There's a fair catch. Whoops. David Grimes was suggesting they got blocked into the punt returner, but no go, says the official.
Was it Grimes or was it Bruton? But in any event.
Excuse me, Bruton, yes.
There's no foul on the play. The man was pushed into the receiver. No foul by rule.
Maybe Bruton.
Ball's placed down. First down.
Maybe
Purdue.
Bruton might be a lawyer in
the making.
As he argued his case. And tomorrow night, of course, not far from here, Soldier Field in Chicago, as the Eagles come in. Donovan McNabb, born in Chicago, as he returns to face Kyle Orton and the Bears. Orton, the former Purdue quarterback, who Joe Tiller described as the toughest player he'd ever seen.
I was talking about one bowl game he played in with dislocated fingers, and knees, and back, and
toes.
Yeah.
I don't want to forget that big toe.
There's something else too.
Painter under pressure misses his man Smith.
The leaping Lena by Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith, number 22, hayseed, was nicknamed by Chantanuda, a guy that gets a lot of production for the number of, he's number 22, a lot of production for the plays that he is in. He kind of gets in the way of the throw of Curtis Painter.
We spoke with him yesterday, and Coach Weiss told us in the match, well, you won't get much out of him. He was right.
He was absolutely right.
But it was pleasant enough. He just didn't have a whole lot to say, and had a smile on his face the whole time. He said, well, I don't know.
Well, how about the decathlon story he was telling us about in Tennessee? In his high school senior year, he decided to go out for track and then join the decathlon team.
Well, first of all, they'd never won a football state championship, so he wanted a state championship in something. So he decided to take on the decathlon. When we asked him about it, he said, but no javelin, and javelin not allowed in Tennessee.
Yeah.
But he did win the state championship in the decathlon.
I guess it was a javelin accident, he said.
Well, that's what you'd have to think, right? That one juggled and dropped by Smith. As Hayseed is right all over it. I've got a lot of friends in Tennessee. I didn't want to say that's why he was named Hayseed, but he admitted that was probably it.
His coach did it. Oh, boy, there's Corey Sheets down, a guy that's been very, very productive. And Sheets got hurt really kind of on his block.
His mother watching.
Yeah. Corey Sheets, we said, does it all. He really improved his pass blocking, and that's what happened on this play as he was pass block. And really trying to protect his quarterback. He's right there. Steve Quinn, he really saved his quarterback a major league hit.
Well, the game was 14-14 at halftime, and the second half has belonged to the Irish as the concerned faces on the Purdue side, and from Corey Sheets' mother as he's helped to his feet. Can't afford to lose that man.
Yeah, he is their best offensive player.
As they take on Penn State and Ohio State next.
This game tough on moms, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Crystal. Joe Tiller saying playing better than he ever has played for us, and he's played pretty doggone well for 4 years.
Came from high school in Connecticut to Purdue because they told him he'd have a chance to start, and he said they made the right decision. And when they beat Notre Dame last year, he got a chance to beat that world's largest bass drum that the Purdue band has.
I've never seen one bigger.
And interesting as the Summers punt. Interesting that Coach Weiss told him and took him aside after the game last year and complimented him and said, "You're a hell of a player." And we hope he'll be all right. And we remind you that after the game, if you'll go to NBCSports.com, we'll have the Vonage postgame report. You can hear the live press conferences of Charlie Weiss and Joe Tiller, plus interviews, analysis, and full game highlights. The Vonage postgame report at NBCSports.com.
Well, it's got to be a happy Charlie Weiss. You know, this offense is clicking.
This is kind of what he's been waiting for. This maturing in this finding an identity.
Yeah, and the offensive line doing a great job and getting a lot more in the running game than they have in the past, closing in on 200 yards rushing on the day, Tom. They had 16 last week.
Yeah. Robert Hughes. Well, contrasted to last week when they couldn't run and couldn't stop the run either.
Indeed.
And coming from behind, down 7-0, tied at halftime, 14-14, and then dominating the second half, outscoring Purdue 24-7. Here is Clausen handing off to Hughes. And Robert Hughes trying to turn the corner. And want Notre Dame updates wherever and whenever, use NBC Sports Mobile. Get them right on your cell phone. Just text the letters ND to 51515. Again, text ND to 51515.
They got two big old number 70s playing tight end for the Irish. Now you said a couple of injuries and issues at tight end position. So what do? You bring in some guys who ordinarily are tackles. You see number 70, Matt Romine, over there on the left. On the right, Trevor Robinson.
Coach White said there were a lot of players, especially defensive players, volunteering for a little offensive action, trying to become the latest two-way players. And he said, nothing doing. If we need another tight end, we'll just get somebody in there to block like a big offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Again, Will Yateman has had his situation still unresolved after being arrested for underage drinking violation. And Luke Schmidt, who plays both fullback and tight end, bothered with migraines, unable to play today. So they were a little thin at tight end.
And really burned a year with Joseph Fourier, who they're hoping to kind of maybe not play this year, but played some.
Just works the clock out as they hand it to Robert Hughes, who picks up the first down. Well, the Irish have a lot to brag about today. After a bit of a slow start, falling behind early, they have not turned the ball over. They've been in the red zone 4 times and have scored 3 touchdowns. And they held Purdue's kickoff return unit, which is the best in the country, really, to an average start of their own 19. And, of course, have outscored the Boilers in the second half 24-7. So a lot of positives today for Notre Dame as they'll return at home next week against the Stanford Cardinal. Stanford playing Washington tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
Coached by Jim Harbaugh.
And the final seconds will tick away. Joe Tiller's last visit to Notre Dame Stadium does not end pleasantly. He said he would be a little sentimental because of all that Notre Dame football has meant to college football in general, but would have preferred, of course, to have had a win. So Joe Tiller, we say goodbye to him, one of our favorites, and we'll miss him. And for Charlie Weiss and the Irish, a very, very satisfying victory in what was a crucial game to continue momentum and get off to that good start for the season that Coach Weiss had called for. So the handshake between Coach Tiller and Coach Weiss. Jimmy Clausen in the middle there as the Irish win it 38-21. And we'll be back in 30 seconds to hear from Coach Weiss as we begin the Vonage post-game report.